I am ready. Are you ready?
I feel the minutes count down on the clock again. Feel like I'm playing in a game that I can never win. Time is running out, I know I gotta make a choice. So many whispers in my ear that I can't hear my voice. Tell me, will it end the situation that I'm in? Or am I bound to sit alone, drowning in my sins? Get right or get left, what will it be? Time is running out, the blood is flowing down the streets. People need to know we're living in a war zone. Hit the streets with the truth, tell them that it's on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loot Bros Podcast. I'm your host, Residentdarrell, and tonight I got Joe Blow, Joe Schmo. What did we say a minute ago? Dang, that's a lot of rhyming right there. What's up, Joe?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you guys today?
Hanging out, brother. Hanging out. Like it's weird. We're here. We're hanging out tonight. We're doing the show. This is my wife's home. Her very last night shift was last night. So it's kind of interesting. We were out hanging out with family, and I was like, we got to hustle back, get to the show. And she's already starting to act crap. She's like, well, we could go to Belk's and get you some new clothes while everything's on sale. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, we got to go. We got a show to do. We got a show to do. So, and then we got Zach. What's up, dude?
I'm back, baby. Hey,
yeah, we should be playing that Eric Bischoff music. I'm back. So yeah, you've been a busy boy.
Yeah, work has been hectic. I've been putting in like at least 70 hours for like the past 4 weeks now. I got another 70 plus hour week ahead of me this week. So
I'm glad somebody's making the money, because this week all of my loans have been trying to die. I was telling you guys before we started the show, I had it's all still new, but definitely my most stressful week this week. I had appraisers not doing the appraisals they're supposed to do, things not being turned in on time, closings being postponed. I had a mistake on some documents made by another employee that I had to own and eat, and that caused a level of shenanigans. It was definitely a thing, man. So it was a week. Sometimes this was one of those weeks where I'm like, all right, I see why all the loan officers that I've ever met look like they're about 30 years older than they actually are.
And you already looked about 30 years older than you actually are. So damn.
Joke's on you. I am old. Oh.
That's why you have no hair.
Oh, that's a choice.
Sure.
Funny you say that, actually. My wife sent me a picture the other day. She was like, I used to, I only did a handful of weddings. I only officiated a handful of weddings, but I did do a few weddings back in the day. And my wife was like, oh, I forgot you married this couple. And she sent me the picture, and I had hair-ish. And I was just like, you could see straight through it in the pictures. It looked so bad. Like I had such a bad receding hairline. I was like, ugh. I was like, that hair though. She's like, I think it's kind of hot. I was like, oh gosh. I was 10, 15 years younger, and I looked 10 years older than I do now.
No, you looked like the Big Show when he had short hair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was heavy as the Big Show.
Giant friggin' turd monster.
He looked better with long hair.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that. Last week, Joe and we brought back the WrestleCast. Well, what?
Yeah, damn straight.
Yeah, that's right. The Patreon, the Super Loot Bros for this past month, or for the month of August, is a very, very, I would say, in-depth state of where WWE is at right now. I think that we did a good job of catching people up. Some of the comments we've gotten on Patreon have been pretty good. But
do they want more, Darryl?
They always want more.
I mean, SummerSlam was actually really good this year. I was thoroughly surprised.
It was decent.
Yeah. What's your take on that? I want to hear what you got to say, Zach.
So I think that I'm glad that we did have Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns again, but because their match this time was different and it was unique and it was actually entertaining. them letting Brock have the mic was probably one of the smartest things that they ever did with that period.
Oh, I agree. My man can spit fire if he wants to. If he wants to be involved in something, I feel like he puts his heart into it. Like some of his early SmackDown stuff, like when they first let him talk, that stuff was gold. But like Cowboy Brock is the best Brock. Like he just don't give a shit.
110%.
He's like, I just want to drink beers and kick ass.
I mean, he didn't
like,
give
I'm
a
all
shit
out of beers.
before.
And he's having a blast. Like the dude is smiling and just doing fun stuff. Like it's wild how they finally. It's almost like they just let him just do whatever you want, and it very much resonates with the fans because I've never been a Brock Lesnar fan. Like I never liked him even in his first run.
Not a Brock Lesnar fan, huh?
No, I've never been. I mean, I liked him in UFC, but yeah, like, I've never been a Lesnar fan. But dude, watching this feud, and I can't stand Roman Reigns. But then again, I didn't like Roman Reigns back when he was in the Shield. I never liked Roman Reigns. I never believed in Roman.
The only Roman I liked was because there's a certain point where you sympathize for him as an actual person, not as a character. And when he came back after beating leukemia for the second time, that was insane. That was just off the wall fantastic storytelling.
There was people out there saying like that was all fake. I'm like, bro, no one's faking leukemia. Calm down.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, that'd be super disrespectful.
That'd be especially all how tied they are to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh my god!
And all these people, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and make fun of them. Essentially, using that as a gimmick, that wouldn't be good. I don't know, man. I didn't like either one of these guys coming into this, but I definitely have. Wrestling has done what they're supposed to do. They won me over for Brock. Like I'm a Brock Lesnar fan right now. I like this gimmick. I like what he's doing. And even though it frustrates me to no end that he lost, it was cool to see him lift up a freaking wrestling ring with a tractor and then sit on it and take pictures and smile and hang out with the camera after the fact. So but there was a funny meme that went around. It was like, could you imagine being the person who paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for those seats and then they lifted the ring up
and you couldn't see the other side of the mat? I was thinking that as they're.
It'd be like, dang, dude, I pay like $1,800 for these seats. This is great. And then like 30 seconds later, Brock puts a wrestling ring in your main line of sight.
Breaking news for everybody, since we're on the wrestling talk. Wardlow stayed TNT champion. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Get it.
I wish Thunder Rosa would have lost her title because she's just not. She's not an appealing women's champion. Like her story arc was kind of boring. Plain. Yeah, it was kind of like that. Oh, I'm starting. It's kind of like that underdog story that we've seen a million times. And then Claudio Castagnoli stayed Ring of Honor World Champion. So let's go.
Dang, that's a nice little freaking update on what's happening in wrestling. So you guys, all Loot Bros podcast, you're welcome. You're freaking welcome.
All right, we're done. We're done with wrestling. We got to get to the game.
Let's put a pin in wrestling for now. Who knows? We might come back. But this is the Loot Bros podcast. We talk about video games. Obviously, we talk about wrestling. We talk about comic books. We talk about this show is actually morphing into more of a general entertainment and nerd culture show.
That's perfect.
Kind of, yeah, it's probably dying. I won't say dying. That's a very dramatic way of looking at it. But I think that we're dialing back on some of the video game. Well, I won't say some of it. Let's see. We're just going to incorporate all of our interests.
We're not a newscast. We're a comedy gaming podcast, in my opinion. But
I think that's a great way to sum us up.
But we now we've all started. We all have the same hobbies and the same interests when it comes to comics and video games. So yeah, no, I'd consider us a comedy nerd culture podcast other than a comedy gaming podcast.
Well, there you go. There you go. I think that we are definitely morphing our way into that a little bit more and more. And I say we embrace it. I think that there is crossover in all these things. And I think that our audience they like more than just games.
Agreed.
So that being said,
Darrell, what do you have to toast to this week?
I am toasting to a handful of things. The Last Man Standing, our final Patreon producer. My name is Effing Mayo. I want to toast to this month's and our first ever official Loot Bros Podcast Game Club. I actually, I threw a horror game in the mix when we did the raffle and I didn't think we'd get it. We got it. Not only did we get it, but it hit at such a good time.
I think I should go back. I think I might hook up my Xbox 360 and play that. Like, honestly,
man, it's a good one. It's a good one.
So
I want to toast to the game club, and we said we do it. We toast to Kalai and Jim tomorrow, as of the time of recording, is Jim's last round of chemo. So, yeah, we wish the best for you, Jim. You are in my prayers, but I just I like your haircut, so just want to throw all that stuff out there. So, but yes, lots of cool stuff happening, and this week's official topic and a little test, a little preview. Joe had pitched it in the group earlier in the week, and then MZ kind of doubled down and wrote in, was like, "Hey, I kind of want to know our current thoughts on the DC shakeup." So this week's official topic, I'm going to toast to the shakeup because I like what I'm seeing. You guys got anything else you want to toast to?
You're out of your mind if you like what you're seeing. Like, they're just like.
Oh, it's
like
gonna be
murdering everything.
Right. We'll get to it, Joe. Save it for twat.
All right. It's a goddamn bloodbath out there.
Here we go.
All right. What are you toasting to?
I'm toasting the Cowabunga collection being like 3 weeks away. That's what I'm toasting to.
That's good.
It's getting
toast
closer
every
and
week.
closer.
Count it down.
All right, now I want to toast I'm finally freaking back. I've missed both of you, and I've missed Kalai. It's been a crazy month. I am just happy to sit down and relax. And I'm also going to toast to Stylen, and we'll talk about why when we talk about the games we're playing.
Dang, you picking favorites.
All right, ready?
Here we go. Nice little Celsius sparkling water.
I actually have a summer edition Red Bull. It's strawberry and apricot. It's really good.
That's quite a combo. All right, so I have not eaten yet. My wife just dropped food in front of my face. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with what we've been playing. Zach, since you haven't been here in a while, we'll let you do the honors, and I'm going to stuff my face like a fat kid.
All right, so I'll save the best for last. But I have been playing a little bit here and there. I haven't got to play a whole lot this week. I started Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet over. I saw the game.
I always wanted to get that one.
I saw the game on their summer sale. The deluxe edition was on sale for $13, and so I just picked it up. And I was like, "Yep, we're gonna do this. This is gonna happen." And I started it over, and it's still. I feel like it's the best Sword Art game they've made so far because some of the other ones have just been kind of like duds. They've been kind of just like rewriting the story with you as the main character, which is kind of eh. But this one has its own standalone story, which is fantastic. And then I played a little bit of Dead Space before we recorded. But what I have been absolutely addicted to, and before I say that, I've also been playing Apex as usual. I don't know if I have to list that every week, but yeah, that's on my normal list. But saving the best for last. So in my relax time, because I can play it on my phone, I can play it on my iPad whenever I am bored. I have gotten and delved into Power Wash Simulator. I'm hopping on the simulator train because Stylen just comes in every week when I'm streaming, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Man, Train Sim World 2 or Power Wash Simulator been whooping my butt." That's all he'll talk about is simulators. I was like, I haven't played like a real sim in a while, so let me see what this is about. And I started playing it, and I'm just like, this is just mindlessly like enjoyable. You just sit there and you just do something, and it's very satisfying, I guess is a good way to put it. It's like ASMR, but I don't need to hear it. So
ASMR, there's chicken, bro.
But that's what I have been playing, and other than that, well, I guess have I been playing anything else? I've been reading through my I just picked up. I didn't know they did it. I'm super happy, and I shared it with you guys. I picked up the Power Rangers role playing game book. And so it's essentially Power Rangers Dungeons and Dragons, and the book is very interesting, and I'm going through it and trying to get all the rules, and I'm already got ideas in my head for stories. It's freaking great. popped my creative juices. So I'm excited for that. Joe, have you got? Oh well, we know you got 2 things done this week. What you been playing?
Oh, a lot of stuff, honestly, like a lot of different things. So, I did finish Need for Speed. I mean, I don't want to like deep dive too much into it because we're gonna do like obviously we're gonna do a spoiler cast on that one or whatever, or Patreon, whatever we do with those when we
Do
beat
a
them.
song.
I don't know. I never beat one, so
Hey, look, we should,
he's like my first pledge I've ever beat. Now I don't know what to do with my hands.
He did it. Yeah, he made it. Now what we do is we do like a little sit down conversation about it. So
yeah,
I would definitely going to join you on that.
Gonna hopefully try to get MZ Nitro on that episode. Because
that'll be dope.
Isn't he the one that pledged me to play that god awful piece of trash?
Yep.
That game that you loved until you had the dirt races.
Oh my god! You know what? So I will say one thing about the game. Once I got a good enough car, or figured out how to, like, once I got a car that I felt comfortable in, and like I could upgrade, then the game was a joke. It was just the terrain is ridiculous, and hitting things in that game and getting reset is so annoying. Just annoying. I don't know. What else I play? I played and I finished Stray. So Stray is pretty dope. For those of you who haven't played Stray, he plays a cat. And I don't want to give away the story because it's really cool and everyone should play it.
Tricky had some opposing opinions about it after Sophie's Trophies this past week.
Yeah, Tricky's a dog lover. So, sucks to be him.
Hey, Tricky, if you're listening, clean your kitchen. It
just generally sucks to be Tricky. I mean, I feel bad for the dude.
Okay, be nice.
Okay. Sucking's a part of life, right?
I don't know, Joe, is it?
I don't know.
Okay. What else you been playing? You said you've been playing a lot. I want to hear. I want to hear the list.
All right, hold on. Let me look at my PlayStation list. It's so much easier to do it if I look at the list. I got really, after our conversation, Darrell, I played a shit ton of WWE 2022.
Oh, yeah, same.
Like, I've been playing my faction, and I'm absolutely addicted to playing it on legendary difficulty, and it's actually challenging and fun. Like, it's good. Like, I have some good times. Like, I want to start streaming it because it's like it's hectic playing that game on legendary. Like, computer puts up a good fight, and if you make like one fatal mistake, you can lose a match. I think it's still a little easy in the fact that, like, because the pin mechanic is button mashing now, and it's not that stupid like reticle garbage like it used to be, or like the timing. It's a lot easier to kick out. Like, you have a lot more opportunities to kick out of people's finisher. So yeah, I've been playing my faction. Darrell, what were you doing on there?
Oh, so because Kalai was struggling so much with the actual objectives,
I jumped in and replayed those two to help her.
I did.
I did it with her that day that she finally finished that one match, and then like I was like, let me just like play it because I have to remember the mechanics and the controls because like not playing that game for a while, and I was like, oh man, you know what? It's even easier to play this now that I go back and like learned all the controls even better, and I'm like, I'm having that game is just a blast. There's just I hope that is the base for what they do going forward because that engine is just it's such a good engine.
It really is. It's good. It's a great wrestling game. And so what I did was I went through and I played through the what's it called? Rey Mysterio's little career mode. I don't remember the showcase. That's what showcase. So I played through the showcase, and just to kind of be like, so what I've been doing is every time you guys get played something, I play along. And it's wrestling, so that's like a no brainer. I'm going to play that. That's easy. Now, Need for Speed, I've downloaded, but I haven't actually jumped into. But I really didn't expect you to beat it this week. So, I'll play at least a chunk of it before we do the actual recording. If nothing else, just so that I can have some sort of conversation to bring to the table. So it just kind of, when someone gets pledged, I kind of play along just so that I can have, an opinion. And, if I'm on the show or I'm on the recording with you guys, I can actually have good dialogue with you. So I jumped in and I replayed all those matches because I didn't do the objectives the first time either because I didn't think you needed to do the objectives to unlock the last match. I thought you would just get unlockable. So I went through, did all the objectives, and unlocked the last match. I beat the whole thing and just had a blast. So I just sat there and played for a little while, just kind of, I haven't done my faction. I haven't even started my faction. But I wanted to jump into that game and play it, just because A, it's wrestling, but B, because she was having issues. So I wanted to be able to assist if she had, hey, what do you do right here? Oh, this is what I did. So, but once you get your groove, especially in that career mode, that showcase mode, once you get your groove, man, it's like after 2-3 matches, you start flying through it. You're like, okay, I kind of get what they're doing here. And a lot of the combinations and a lot of the things they wanted you to do were kind of like, once you did it once, you're like, oh, I got to do this every other match or so. So you started to kind of remember the button combinations and the combo combinations and stuff. So don't get me wrong, that's not my favorite mode they've ever put into wrestling, and that's definitely not my favorite version of Showcase they've ever put in. But to tell Rey Mysterio's story, I thought that was cool, And of course, anything with Eddie Guerrero in it, I'm a fan of. So, but anyways, that's all I did in wrestling.
I need to download. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I haven't been on the show since I got it. I got a Series S, so I can play Gotham Knights when it comes out. I'm super excited.
That's awesome, man! Congratulations.
Yep, moving on up in my little console world. Well, see, the funny part now is I moved the Xbox out to the living room and downloaded like story games and stuff off of Game Pass that I thought and me and my wife walked through the catalog and I downloaded 12 games. All games I figured she wanted to try out. I was like, all right, cool, we'll do that. My wife got so addicted to Subnautica for 2 weeks.
Dude, my kids love that game.
2 weeks straight. 2 weeks straight. It's like underwater No Man's Sky almost, but it's not online. And she's, I don't know if she's beat it, because I know there's a way to beat it, because you gotta
you have to get to the surface, don't you?
No, so the shipwrecked, and there's a bunch of other junk that goes with it. I don't know, but she's been addicted to that. I think that's about all she.
There is an end game. There is a way to beat it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all she really delved into that I know of. She tried playing a couple other indie games, and they just I watched them. They were not they weren't that great at all. But yeah, so I kind of messed up.
All good. Joe, were you done, man? I know once I got to talk about wrestling, you kind of got quiet.
I can talk about wrestling forever. I am playing Grand Kingdom on PS4 right now. It's kind of it's made by the people Nippon Ichi Software, so it's made by the people who make Gaskaya. And it's a turn-based tactical game, but it's on a board game map. It's actually pretty cool. There was a server to it, and the server's dead, but I just want to play the single player campaign anyway, so I'm I don't really care. But it's a pretty cool little game. And then other than that, I restarted my Animal Crossing island because I had to, because I got a new Switch a while ago, and I forgot to save my island to the cloud, and I was on the very last part of the game and was about to get that +2, and then stupidly didn't move my island over, so now I have to do everything over again. But that's a really good podcast game. It's a game you can just play on the podcast, just do a few things a day and turn it off. So it's really, I really like Animal Crossing. Other than that, on the Switch, I played a little bit of Mario Sunshine. That game is great. The controls for that game are ass, and it plays really, really terribly on the Switch. The port of it is it's not very good. There's delay. So I'm not really happy with it. I feel like Nintendo could do better. For it's fucking Nintendo, man. You can do a better job porting your games. It's pretty sad. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I played. Darrell, what did you play this week?
So last week when we talked, I finished my last pledge game, which was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and do the Intergrade, the Luffy DLC.
See, I still haven't done that yet, and I've heard it's amazing.
See, that's what I heard too, but I ended up not doing it. I ended up loading it up. I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to break from this game. So I didn't do that one. I already talked about WWE 2K22. Played some Minecraft with one of our patrons and one of our good friends of the show, MZ Nitro. He myself and Spider Pax got into one of our worlds and did a bunch of stuff, captured some villagers, built a church. We're building a village and did a bunch of cool stuff. And MZ was cool. He just kind of hung out with us and fished, and we talked. We'd probably play the game for a couple hours, but that was cool. MZ and I have worked on some of the multiplayer trophies together. And so he jumped in with Spider Pax and I. We just did a little bit of world building and just kind of hanging out. Been saving DC, playing some Division 2 with my boy Tricky Mick.
Thoughts on that game now? Like, what's your...
It's really good, dude. I really like it. And
I beat it. Tricky helped us beat like one of like the last 2 spots in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really fun game.
Been playing that one with MZ as well.
First one's good.
I haven't touched the second one.
Yeah. That's what the first one was really good. The second one is better than the first one, I think.
I like the story better in the first one. I like the gameplay in the second one better.
I like the story better in the first one. I agree. I can't say that with 100% conviction because with Tricky coming in and killing stuff and like leading us through mission by mission, I don't know. I'm not really following the story like I'm supposed to. And I got MZ in there, and so it's me, MZ, Tricky, and then every now and again one of Tricky's friends, and we're all talking. So the first one had like a really cool story. It was like even the presentation of the story was really good. And this one, it just seems like it really just feels like more Division. So if you like the Division, you're going to like the Division too. Like, and it's been cool. What's really neat is like their battle pass system and the way it's kind of broken down, how you can kind of you can play the game and level up and do all your stuff, and you can kind of unlock all the cosmetics in the shop, or you can buy them. And so it's pretty cool the way it's laid out. It's not like your traditional like Fortnite Battle Pass style or whatever. It's like it's got a storefront and you can just earn everything in the store. I ended up buying the DLC. The DLC is on sale right now, so I bought all the DLC for like $10.
So what you're telling me is you just want all them Resident Evil skins. That's the only reason you're playing it.
Oh, I bought them.
I saw that shit happen. Dude, as soon as that garbage got announced, I was like, Darrell's about to get his dick wet on some Resident Evil skins.
I didn't even earn them. I bought them.
Fucking guy was like, I can't wait for skins. I'll just buy them.
Yeah, I did. I totally did that. I was a total Chad and just I was like, I'm not even going to play this game and earn them. I'm just going to buy them. And then I'm dressed like Hunk, the umbrella agent. So yeah, I'm Hunk running around. But what was cool is MZ was following me around with a Nemesis mask on. So it's cool, man. Like for the longest time, my outfit was Chris Redfield, but my helmet was Hunk. So it looks really stupid. But I did a little bit of a palate cleanser from everything with a little bit of Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure.
That game is fun.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
A fun little platformer. It's
nice
like
little
little platformer that could, man.
It's easy. It's just like it's straightforward.
It's a palate cleanser. It's a palate cleanser. You had it exactly right. Like that game is fun.
Turn your brain off. Listen to a podcast. Watch a show. It's as simple.
Just climb and collect crystals, man.
Yep. Very, very traditional platformer. I actually talked with one of the developers that made the game, and I invited him on the show. He's actually in one of the groups I'm in on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he said that he wouldn't have anything to offer to our show. He said because he can't really say much other than the budget was really low for the game. Everything that about it's NDA'd. He's like, I can't really offer you much. He's like, and the company I started on my own since I left that developer, he's like, all we do is kind of asset work. And so he didn't really seem like he could bring any value to our show, which I was like, hey, if you change your mind or you just want to talk games, come on. But I did try to reach out to get him on there because I would have loved to just been like, hey man, what's it like to work on a licensed property like that? Is it an enjoyable job? It just as me gleaning from the conversation, it sounded like he didn't have the best experience, so he wasn't really looking to talk about it. But I can't say that with 100% certainty. What I did do this week is for, I don't know, probably 3 nights this week after I clocked out, mentally clocked out of work, I sat back and played through some of Control. So I've been working on the Control Platinum. That is one of those games that I swore I would go back and knock out. I've done some of the DLC, some of the Alan Wake missions. and DLC. Control's amazing. Control is so good. Like I'm finishing up the PS4 version, then I'm gonna go back through the PS5 version.
Okay.
It's just good. It's just I play through this game again, and I'm just like, man, I love this game. Like it is seriously one of my top favorite games out of the PS4 generation. And outside of that, I mean, I know that's a handful of games right there, but outside of that, Dead Space. So last week we did our like random drawing for the Loot Bros game club. We knocked out, or excuse me, I said we knocked out. We drew Dead Space, and I've already knocked it out. I loaded the game up. I said I'm going to do. There's a trophy in there for beating the game only using the plasma cutter. I've never done that. I never did that on the Xbox 360 version either. I was like, I'm going to do it. I started the game. I already beat the game. All right, guys, I want to jump in here and let you know that we did lose a little bit of the show. There was some sort of internet disruption with the software we use. So there's going to be a weird transition. And rather than just kind of like try to edit it all out, slide it in there, make it out like it was smooth, it wasn't. We lost like 10, 15 minutes of the show. So we're going to jump right into our leaderboards.
It's the Loot Bros podcast. We're going to talk about video games and mow your grass. Loot Bros podcast. We're going to talk about butts and slurp and penises. So stay tuned.
Now it's time to head into our leaderboards and our backlog beatdown. Zach, do you have access to any of that stuff where you're at, or you want me to jump to
Not currently. I would love for you to take care of it right now.
All good. I got it. Let's start with the backlog beatdown. All right. With the backlog beatdown, we still have I'm Styling You Bro with 115 points, but I'm telling you, we're coming for him. We're close. Yeah, these numbers are getting thinner and thinner. They're getting closer and closer. So he's at 115 points, but CJ is right behind him with 84 points.
Oh yeah, right behind him with 83 points.
But dude, CJ made it to 84 in no time. No time. Like he really he gave him quite the head start.
You see, this is the problem though, is he introduced me to simulator games. So now I'm just gonna come up and play all the simulator games he's already played, and I'm just gonna smoke the floor with them. That's what's gonna happen.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get you on there. All right, then we got Diego just past me. He's got 79.
Yeet.
So let's see what he got me this week. He put some points on the board. Then you got Residentdarrell with 74. Redbeard Rick with 69. We got Gaz Davis with 55. Tied with Joe Priestley with 55. Now, is that your most updated count, Joe, or are you actually technically ahead?
No, I'm technically ahead because I got 3 more points.
Dang, Gaz, step it up. All right. Then we got JT with 48. We got Yil with 30. Jared with 29. Alex with 23. MZ with 22. James the Nerd and Big Zach Ledford with 21. We got Sadik with 18. I did make sure I checked and updated at Sadik stuff. He didn't send anything this week, so 18 is the actual correct numbers this time. At Kalai with 17. Noah with 15. Noah is about to beat Monster Hunter again. So check this out. Noah had already beaten Monster Hunter and he beat the Iceborne DLC. So he decided, I don't know, sometime last year, he was like, I'm going to go back for the Platinum. And he was trying to move his cloud saves, and I don't know how he did it, but he uploaded a brand new game save on a console that he wasn't used to playing on. He uploaded that over his cloud save.
Ooh.
So he lost his game save of it beating everything. So he's put in the past 2 weeks, 33 hours on Monster Hunter World. And now Spider-Pax is playing it with him. So Spider-Pax actually came running in here earlier, said he knocked out some of these bosses on his own for the first time. So they're farming right now, trying to get their armor set. So I would imagine if everything goes the way it is, by next week, you're going to have some points on the board from those boys from Monster Hunter.
Nice.
So Triggy's at 15. Homer's at 9. Corey's at 9. Dino Killer is at 8, but it sounds like she might have some Subnautica points coming up.
Yup.
All All right, Spider Packs is at 8. BWow's at 6. But guess what? BWow doesn't work nights anymore. So we're going to be playing through some of our visual novel games.
Whales Interactive.
That's right. We got Jim at 5. We got John Michael at 4. But John Michael, I want to give him a special shout out on the show. He doesn't listen every week, I know. But John Michael has been trickling away. Been ticking away. I'm not really sure the word I'm looking for, but he's been building his own Twitch channel. He does a show called Trying Casually EDH, which is some kind of magic trash. But he brings on a bunch of magic streamers and players in the community. And this is just one of those situations where he had an idea and a friend of his encouraged him to pursue his idea. That same friend helped him get started, kind of pointed him in the right direction. And then now he's doing something he's extremely passionate about. He's got like 120, 150 subs on or subscribers or followers on Twitch or whatever they want to call them. Like, he's doing really well. He gets all these community people involved. He's got 2 sponsors on his show. And it's growing and he's got a really good thing going. So I want to give him a special shout out. He messaged me today about branching off and doing Trying Casually Gaming on the side of Trying Casually EDH. And so he might start actually putting some points on the board because he's put all of his focus since we started this contest, or this event rather, into building his channel. And now that his channel's growing and it's growing organically and everything's kind of working out, now he wants to kind of incorporate some of the gaming stuff as well with his streams. So if you're one of those magic nerds, I'm going to go ahead and give him a quick free plug. Check out Trying Casually EDH. And be on the lookout for John Michael's gaming stuff because I think he's going to start doing a little bit of game streaming. So T-Bird's at 4. James McCall is at 3. I know he's been beating games, but for whatever reason, he's not claiming them. But I've been messaging back and forth with James. And I was texting back and forth with him this week, actually, and told him, because I don't know if he listens to the show often or if ever, but he does interact in our Facebook group. And James and I actually went to school together years and years and years ago. So I texted him the other day. I was like, hey man, I just want to let you know we're playing through Dead Space. I asked him if he ever played it before. He said, yeah, a few times. So we're actually playing through Dead Space for the Loot Bros Game Club. And I just wanted to personally invite you to come be a part of it with us. So whether you write in or he wants to talk about the game or whatever, I just kind of wanted to extend that olive branch because old James McCall and I go way back. So, and then Levi bringing up the rear with 2 points. But Levi's building an empire right now, so.
Yeah, he is. I was like, I don't know if he's actually playing games anymore.
I'm sure he's playing some because that is his passion, but I don't think he's playing like he used to. But that dude, he's a very successful businessman, and his business is growing and growing and growing. Levi and I talked on the phone a couple weeks ago, the week before I went on vacation, and he's doing well. I'm super proud of that guy. So I'm very happy that he is a successful businessman. I always thought he would be, but he's doing a good job. So that being said, we're going to head on over to our custom leaderboards, truetrophies.com. Set yourself up a profile, link it in with your PlayStation profile, and then you can join our custom leaderboard just like the 32 people we have in here. The leaderboard's growing. Still got a lot of zeros on the board, but hey, we got a lot of people in there. So in first place, Mrs. Lightsight with 103 trophies. Excuse me, got the hiccups. I got her Mrs. Lightsight's last trophy was a platinum in Tokyo Run. So that is a spam game if there ever was one. And God, I miss them. Second place, the Affectations Daunt with 99 trophies. Last trophy was in Stranger of Paradise, a Final Fantasy Origin. Have either one of you guys played that?
No, I'm waiting for the price to drop.
That game has PlayStation Plus Premium written all over it.
It does, but I just don't know when we're going to get it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just played through Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't have it in me for another Final Fantasy game, but that one has had my attention because it's got some jank in it, and it's got some over-the-top trophy stuff that also looked like it was trying to be a cool action trophy. Action movie.
Wow.
Wow. So
Got Jank in the tank.
I got some jank in the tank. Dude, next shirt.
Ooh, so
That's so good.
I'm sorry for interrupting
Holy-
you, but since we're talking about games that that Joe wants to play, Joe, I picked up a game that I think you're going to be really excited that I picked up. It is a Tales game.
Which one?
It's not Tales of Arise. It's Tales
of D's nuts. Oh my god.
Vesperia?
Yeah, Tales of Despair. No, well, hold on. Let me look it up.
Vesperia Definitive Edition.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Good game.
All right, check it out. While you're looking it up, I got a story to tell you. It wasn't a joke; it's a story. So the other day, I got my daughter sitting in here, and she's playing Dreams, and she wants to learn how to make games. So I told her, I said, do the tutorials in Dreams, and we'll build some stuff in there. So she's working on the tutorials in Dreams, and she says something like, I can't find something. And then Paxton, my 7-year-old, was like, yeah, can't find D's nuts.
Please tell me she gave him the stinkiest look ever.
She did. But he was playing on his iPad. He just said it like so cool, calm, and collective. I said, son, don't you ever say that again. I said, that'll get you in so much trouble at school. But inside, guys, I was effing dying. And my 7-year-old made a proper D's nuts joke. And I was like, where did you hear that? I'm trying to keep a serious, stern, like, about, I'm like, what? Where
did you really ask where he hears that? You really?
Yeah, I did. He said,
you don't think he's heard us say it like 55 million times?
I try really hard not to say stuff like that because these are impressionable young humans, and I ain't trying to answer for that. I ain't trying to have my wife say, babe, you said D's nuts, and now your 7-year-old's going around saying D's nuts. I ain't trying to answer for that. So, I said, where did you hear that? And he was like, one of the Mr. Beast reacts. He said one of the guys talks about his nuts all the time. I was like, oh my gosh, it was so funny.
Yeah,
but
some of his videos used to be a little bit more adult.
A little more crude.
Yeah.
Well, see, the other day my wife made a "that's what she said" joke, and she didn't think the kids heard her. So she's like, "Oh, I said something I remember." She's like, "Yeah, that's what she said." And then I started laughing, and my daughter just out of nowhere, we were walking through the theme parks, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Mom just made a 'that's what she said' joke." And I'm like, "How do you even know what that is?" That's funny. Sorry, my kids are they're hoodlums. They're going to be typical preacher kids. They're going to be bad.
Well, at least they're well-behaved hoodlums for the most part.
Right now.
For the most part. That's what I said, for the most part.
It starts with the D's nuts jokes, and before you know it,
it's bananas and butts.
They're putting banana. They're doing chocolate bananas.
Chocolate bananas.
All right. Am I waiting on you to tell something you looked up, or am I going back to look
at Tales of Vesperia, the deluxe edition. I got it. I picked it up for free. You were busy, and I was like, "Hey, Joe, is this a good game?" And then you didn't answer. I was like, "I'm buying it anyways." All right, let's do
it. Well, I hope it was a good game because I bought it. Joe comes back. He's like, "Seriously, that's the worst game ever."
No, that's actually a really good one.
Negative.
Here's OW should have done that. So.
It's always that game's always like $10 or less on the Switch, and I keep meaning to pick it up every sale, and then I don't because I'm like, do I really need another Switch RPG when I haven't beat any of the ones I own?
Well, my biggest thing was so for my work, we get like I just hit my over 1 year mark with the company I'm currently.
Okay.
So they give us their like little points for like not get. They say, hey, good job, you didn't get in a vehicle accident in your work truck all year, so here's some points. Or they're like, hey, you didn't get a utility damaged all year, here's some points. So I got some points, and I was like, I only have enough points to get a free game because everything else is stupid expensive for Lord knows what reason. And I was like, man, what game do I want? And I was going through them all, and the only two that caught my attention were the Ezio collection, which is I'm pretty sure all of those. I haven't played all of those. I played 1, 3, Syndicate, and Syndicate Valhalla, a little bit of Valhalla, and 4. So I've never played 2. I've never played Brotherhoods. I've never played Revelations. I've never played any of those.
All good games. All good games. They're all on
Yeah.
PlayStation Premium right now.
Yep. They are. Assassin's Creed Rogue, the most underrated Assassin's Creed game out there. If you haven't played it, the remasters on PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm sure it's very cheap and inexpensive on Xbox One, PC, all that stuff. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Everyone loves Black Flag. If you like Black Flag, you will like Rogue. I thought Rogue was so
All right,
good.
so I've discussed it before. Well, actually, I'm more discussed it with Tricky because Tricky has fucking hard on
Tricky me.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, he's a big.
I didn't like Black Flag.
Sorry, Zach. He's big dick for
Yeah,
collecting.
Oh, I know. I didn't like Black Flag because I'm not a ship battling person. I liked that it was a very minute, small amount of 3, but it's almost a constant in Black Flag, which I just am not the stuff for me. Sorry.
It's not crazy in Rogue. I know you do it a couple times, but it's there. And that I didn't play Black Flag. I played Rogue first. And I've never actually played Black Flag. I did play a little bit of the multiplayer one morning recently before work, trying to help some guys boost. But I've never played Black Flag. I skipped that one and then tried Unity. Unity was broken, so I picked up Rogue. And Rogue I loved. That's my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I love that game. But yeah, definitely check it out. Next up, third place on the Loot Bros PlayStation leaderboard is, speaking of Assassin's Creed, it's the Grounded Gamer. His last trophy was in Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, he had a hell of a week.
What do you know? Yeah, he got 94 trophies.
Yeah, he was crushing it. He was just playing like a lot of random stuff this week.
Hey man, sometimes you just got to do it. But sometimes you got to turn the brain off.
He beat Assassin's Creed in 2 sittings.
He's not claiming his points.
No, I told him he's got to start claiming his points.
What a turd. Yep. Then in fourth place, you got yours truly, Residentdarrell. Only 51 trophies. Last trophy being in Dead Space, which I just got a trophy a few minutes ago for getting 30 kills with the line gun. It's actually unfortunate because the first time I played this game on PS,
going back through it again?
Yeah, I'm on my second playthrough right now. I'm just gonna, as we're going through the game, I'm just going all the different weapons that I didn't use. I'm just going through getting the kills, and then I'm only missing a couple trophies. And then once I get all those kill trophies, I will start over a brand new game on Impossible and just go from there.
Fuck that.
I was hoping I could do Impossible.
Thanks.
Good luck.
See, I was hoping I could do
Darrell.
Impossible with New Game Plus. Like actually using all my gear. But no, that wouldn't be very impossible. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna give it a shot. If I get frustrated, it might not be something I do immediately. It might be something I do over time. But I'm definitely. I think the Dead Space Platinum belongs in my little trophy case on PSN profile. I'm just saying.
You can't play spam, so you want to torture yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it is?
Yep. And in fifth place, we got Gaz Davis 11 with 41 trophies. His last trophy was in Werewolf the Apocalypse.
That game is great.
It's a good game.
Never played.
Got just enough jank in the tank.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to replay that on PS5.
Do it. All right, heading on over to the True Achievements leaderboards. We have Sadik in first place with 9,151 achievement points.
Jesus.
So his last trophy was achievement was Fear the Reaper in Shikahondo Soul Eater. I don't know what that is.
If you think about it, Darrell, he got 9 platinums this week.
Essentially, yeah. But I'm sure some of it's spam. I can't tell because I haven't clicked on it yet, but I'm sure there's some spam in there, and I'm okay with that. All right, second place. We got I'm Styling on You Bro with 2,620 achievement points playing some Surgeon Simulator 2. Next up, we got Sony Pony to You with 1,830 achievement points playing Lab Crisis. Then you got one of our co-hosts. You got Kalai in fourth place with 375 achievement points. She's playing Dead Space. Nice. And then you got in fifth place GDI Master Ace with 175 achievement points playing some Doom. So there you go. There you go. Now, I will say this. We only had 6 achievers in the achievements leaderboard out of 16. So definitely need some more love on the achievement side of things. Guys, if you're Xbox fans, where you at? Join the board. Join the true achievements.
Was I number 6?
Yeah, with 10 points for
yeah.
Power Wash Simulator.
Dude, there's not as many achievements in this game as I thought there would be, honestly.
Well, there you go.
What is it like? Was it like 10 achievements for the whole thing, or 13?
I don't know. All right, I'll look. I'll look. All right, keep going, Darrell.
While you're doing that, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition us straight into community questions, because we got some pretty good ones tonight, and then we'll transition from that into this week's official topic, because this week's official topic actually was a community question. Here we go. I'm Selling on Your Bro writes in and says, Darrell, are you ready to be a grandfather at such a tender age? This is in response to the love triangle story that I told on the show last week. I got a bunch of comments about my 12-year-old's dating escapades. And what's really funny is I've been giving him a lot of crap for it. So like, I was like, yeah, you know, it's funny because his who I always refer to one of the girls as his future wife. Anytime she texts or calls, I'm like, is that your future wife? Shut up, Dad. Ooh. So, am I ready to be a grandfather? No. God, please, no. Like that's not even funny. That would be horrible. So, I'm not. Granted, I have the oldest kids out of the group, out of us podcast hosts, and I mean, I guess the natural order of things, well, I'll be a granddad first, but
I hope so.
That's
I mean, yeah. Logistically,
it'd be really unfortunate if you guys beat me to the punch.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, you never know in the future. Kids are this generation is far and few between. They're like, I don't want kids now. I'm just like, daggum, all right. Well,
it's funny you say that. We were riding down the road the other day, and my daughter was telling us how she doesn't want to actually have her own kids, that she wants to adopt. And I'm like, oh, really? And then even awesome. Little Pac-Man, my little 7-year-old, he goes, yeah, I want to adopt too. And they were just talking about how they feel bad for kids that are in homes that don't have parents. So they're like, yeah, we want to help out with that. I'm like, oh, that's very good. Yes, do that. Don't actually have them. Wait until you're old enough to adopt them on your own. By then, you'll be gone. You'll be out of my house. Not my problem. And I can totally help and support from a distance.
It'll always be your problem.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
It'll always be your problem.
It's funny. We were riding down the road, and my wife's like, yeah, funny how a lot of our conversation involves us being in the car. We were riding down the road, and my wife's like, yeah, Noah's 12. She's like, we only got like 6 more years with him. And I'm like, babe, what world are you living in? These freaking kids stay home till they're 30 now.
Bro, why would he want to leave? You have like every video game console under the sun. Like, unless his life changes like dramatically and he's no longer a gamer, why would he ever go anywhere?
You wouldn't. You're smart. You'll stay. Dad's got all the games. Speaking of, did you guys see my haul this week?
Yeah, that was a nice haul.
Complete in-box PSP, like,
dude, I don't have one of those. That was I didn't know. Okay, so here's how it worked, right? My mom was out yard selling on a Thursday, and she's got her little store. If you guys ever see me post anything from Garage Gals, that's my mom and my aunt.
Okay.
And essentially what they do is they restore furniture, and they've got they do yard sales and estate sales and all that stuff. And they've got this little building not far from the lake, around here.
Lake Murray.
And they have developed a nice little community of people who like to buy, their stuff off of them. And I made some laser artwork and stuff from my previous job to kind of put in their shop. And anyways, long story short, she was out at one of these like yard sales or estate sales on a Thursday, like a really random time of day. And I'm sitting at the house working, and she's like, hey, I just found all these video games. Do you want them? And she sent me a bunch of Xbox 360 games, like the pictures.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I really just streamlined my Xbox collection. Like, I kept the stuff that I wanted. I kept the stuff that I felt like I needed to keep, For the most part, I unloaded a large chunk of that in my Nintendo Wii and my PS2 collection. Like I cut back on a lot of those. And so I was like, not really. And then she showed me all these Game Boy Advance games still in the box. Mario's, Yoshi's Island,
yeah.
all this
I was
stuff.
like, wow, that
dude.
stuff's beautiful. I was like, that's a nice set of stuff you got there. I was like,
Yeah.
you could, like, even if you don't want any of that stuff, you could turn around and just sell that stuff and make like a decent profit. So
Right. Well, see, and I'm not much of a reseller up until now. I'm just now kind of like,
yeah, but if you're not gonna play it, Darrell, and you resell it and then get stuff you want, like you could just tenfold your
that's my
collection.
yes, I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Or if
I
you
really
could
do
start
think I'm
going
gonna
to
do it.
swap meets, right? Set up your own section, right? And then get friendly with some of the other dudes there and just start trading.
Yeah.
Like, you got
I think
this,
that's what
I
I'm gonna
want
do.
this. Make a trade.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, man. Because like I've been pretty like, it's been a long time since I sold any video games, and now that I've started to unload just a little bit, it's like, man, I could take the money, roll it over into the collection, the things that I actually want, like, you know, the PlayStation Vita, you know, PlayStation Portable, you know, PSP, even PlayStation 3, you know, the stuff that I really care about, the stuff that like you couldn't get a PS4 game off of me or a PS3 game off of me right now. Like, it just wouldn't happen. But some of this older stuff that I've been hanging on to, I'm like, I don't really have an affinity for the Wii or the Wii U. So I decided, outside of like the horror games, like the Resident Evil games and stuff like that, I got rid of everything. You know, I even parted with some of my GameCube stuff. You know, I'm like, some of this stuff's not really. I need more space, and I really need to streamline what I collect. That's kind of where my head's been at. So
If you got a Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire box edition for the GameCube, I'll pick that up off you.
I do not.
Yeah.
I never had anything really valuable for the GameCube aside from the Resident Evil game.
Wait, what are you looking for a GameCube?
I was being smart. I told him the Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire box edition.
The $1,000 game. What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want for $30?
I give you $250.
That's actually not bad. Turn around, sell it for $1,000.
There you go. So that being said, so this lot that I got was like a Nintendo DS, a stack of games, games in the actual case, a PSP, 2 games, 2 movies, and like one of them was sealed. You know, and you know how I feel about sealed in the box. I'm like all about it. So, a long story short, I was like, hey, yeah, like, what are they asking for? I started negotiating through my mom, and then, you know, we agreed on like $70, $75, something like that. I was like, absolutely. The PSP alone is worth that. The Mario games are worth that. She ended up getting everything for $60 for me.
Damn.
I got all that stuff for $60 the other day. I was very, very excited. I was very happy with that purchase. I ended up not getting all the Game Boy Advance games that they had there. So there was things left on the table that I could have gotten, but I wasn't physically there. So I was negotiating through text message through my mom, and she's a wheeler and dealer. So she even got me an extra 10 or 15 off the top. So that was pretty dope. So she brought that stuff over to me, and I'm sitting right here with my PSP in the box. Dude, there's not a scratch on this thing. It looks like it was never used. Like the box has got a little wear and tear. It looks like it's been moved around a little bit. But like, I mean, it's got the original headphones, the volume control for the PSP. Like it was everything. And I can remember exactly, like, I remember standing in line at Best Buy and buying my PSP, like the first one when it first launched. Dude, I'm telling you, I got nostalgia out the yang for the PSP. I freaking love it. I'm so thrilled about having this. And that's the best condition PSP I got now out of the 5 or 6 I own. So super excited about it. I did get this Nintendo lot over here, a stack of games, and the Nintendo DS. Oh, wow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and either sell it or trade it for, you know, I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I even thought about doing a little bit of eBay stuff, which I'm not an eBay guy. But I was actually messaging back and forth with a friend of the show, Jared, and he was encouraging me to get into, you know, the reselling, especially since I have, you know, access to a lot of stuff, and kind of like you were just saying, Joe, flipping it over and putting it into the collection that I really care about. So I think I'm gonna do it. I've got some things that are worth a few $100. I got price charting brought up right here in front of me, and I've just been kind of going through my list. And I've got that Godzilla on PS4, man. And that thing right now, I mean, you know how price charting changes. So like a few weeks ago, that was going for like 168.
Yeah.
It's going for about 154 right now.
All right. That's
I think
not, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, I mean that's real good, you know. And that, I mean, that would get me a couple of games.
You should just set up your own shop and just
see. I thought about it. The problem is,
you're in a good area of the country where you can get stuff for good prices. Like,
yep,
I don't have that luxury over here. Like, we don't find
the
anything good over here. Everybody knows what they have here. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I could totally do it, and I've been thinking about it, you know. And the thing is, between my comic books, my action figures, and my video games alone, I've got enough stuff. I got enough inventory to justify opening up a little shop, and I've considered it. And I've been, you know, watching my kid's karate sensei open up a comic book shop, and he does that when the karate studio's not open. And he just does it for fun. He's retired military. He's a 4th degree black belt and various things, and he teaches karate or whatever. And he's just like, I love comic books. And he's like, so he said I had like over 5,000 books, and he's like, I just decided to open up a comic shop, and I'm just shout out Boomer Comic. So I don't know, man. I've been thinking about doing something with it, but since I have all this stuff, and it wasn't until I moved into the office in the house and actually like needed the space for all the other, for the kids and stuff in the basement that I started even considering doing this. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I've been thinking about doing it, especially because I would love to fill out my PlayStation Vita and my PSP collection. So.
Right.
Yep. Anyways, so don't even know how we got there, but that's where we're at.
Community question about you being a grandfather already. That's
yeah, here we go. Well, I'm contemplating my retirement, so open up a GameStop.
I mean, you need to pay for those kids, right?
Hey, man, that's right. That's right. It's game money, baby. That's what's going to pay for colleges and stuff like that.
Darrell, will you just adopt me? Can you be my dad? Is that a thing?
I mean, you got to move over here to South Carolina.
I mean, well,
done. I'll sign the papers now. If I can play all those games.
Hey, I tell you what.
My wife would never be okay with that.
Here's what you do. Y'all move into the basement. All right, get your loan officer licenses. We'll do the Loot Bros loan officers.
Oh my god.
We'll buy and sell video games when we're not actually arranging loans. We're not going to be the most successful LOs in the business because half of our day is going to be spent buying and selling video games. But we'll do just enough to where we don't have to work. We don't have to live off our video game money.
Oh my god!
We can just essentially be padding out our own collection. I feel reselling everything.
I feel like if we're smart, we just have two or three. If we build an army, we have 2 or 3 of us work a day real hard, while the other guys sell video games all day, and then we flip flop days.
So there's a video game shop.
Too excited here,
dude! It's amazing. There's a video game shop in Lexington, which is a town down, over whatever.
Yes,
right?
I know.
You remember Lexington because you live here. So I'm on the Irmo Ballantyne side. You can cross the dam and end up in Lexington. So it's really not that far from me. There's a video game shop called Old School Player. And what they do is the first half they own like a sign and banner shop. So they make all the yard signs and political signs for candidates running for office. And they do vehicle wraps and things of that nature. Hang on one second. And then they close that shop at 3, and then they go next door and they have their video game shop, and they just keep expanding and expanding. And I actually, the owner, he actually bought some games off me the other day when I was selling some of my old stuff. And it was funny because I cut him a deal on the games because he bought a handful of them, and then he walked over and handed my son Paxton $5, And he was like, I just appreciate you guys being customers for the store, and I appreciate all your support. So the deal that I gave him, cut a couple dollars off the top, he walked right over there and gave that money straight to my son. Right. And it was just one of those things where he's a good dude, man. And but I love their business model, like they pay their bills off of their sign business. That pays the rent, that pays their salaries. Right. The video game stuff they do in the afternoons is just a passion project. And they've got a room in there where you can rent the room for $10 an hour and play any game you want in the store on any console.
That's pretty dope.
dude, I've rented it out before for some of my kids, like for like a birthday celebration, not for like a big family thing, but just for us. So like Spider-Man or Spider Packs wanted to play old Spider-Man games. So what we did was we went and rented the room for an hour and played the old Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis Spider-Man game.
Great game.
It was freaking dope.
So good.
Yeah, it's stuff that I don't have, stuff that I don't have access to. So it was
Right.
cool, man. It's a cool thing. So I have thought about doing something of that nature. Just like open up my own little spot, and I would 1,000%. Open up a room where you could go in there and play games and do LAN parties and do tournaments and all that stuff. I would 100% do that stuff.
So one of the biggest things that I like, so in that vein that I've always talked about and I really want to do, is I want to open up like a barcade, but like a barcade slash esports lounge. So it's still like you can bring your kids in, and while mom and dad are having a drink at the bar or having some bar food, the kids can be playing video games on whatever console or playing in like the arcade, like unlimited arcade, like. And we don't have anything like super crazy like that. But like being able to have like adults come in and run like an esports tournament and be like, yeah, we're gonna run, I don't know, we're gonna run Tekken 7 this week.
God.
And then they come in and all the adults that participate can grab an alcoholic beverage and sit down and play a Tekken tournament.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. That would be awesome. But we ain't there yet.
Yeah, you guys got to move to South Carolina so we can do this. So whenever you're ready.
You know what? If you can convince my wife, when we go down to visit, if you can convince my wife to let us move back there, I will. I miss it. I miss being down there 110%.
Man, I'm telling you, we're right here, like this area I'm in. It's like it blows my mind because the area is very developed, and where Harbison is at, and like and the dam and everything. So it's like, but there's not a retro game shop over here, and this area is like prime real estate for that. It's like there's enough money to where people around here could buy, and also it's not so overly wealthy to where people wouldn't take advantage of using the service. You know what I'm saying? I'm trading in old games and buying new games.
Yep.
Not to mention, all the extra stuff, because I would never want to just run like a little GameStop style store. I would want to have extra things. I mean, back in the day before my kids were born, or even when they were real little, Ninja Loot would play midnight release parties for Call of Duty. For the Resident Evil 6 midnight release party at GameStop, we played music. So we did with DJ Hecticals, we did a dubstep kind of metal crossover thing where a couple of Skrillex songs and Nero songs, I did guitar overlays over him mixing the songs with a bunch of stuff.
That's cool.
So we did some cool stuff back in the day, man. And I would love to have a spot to do that kind of stuff, Right. To like do your game tournaments, man. How cool would it be when the next, Halo or whatever, or even doing Fortnite Battle Royale tournaments, and freaking do, like you say, your Tekken, your Street Fighter, like during the freaking during October, you have like you dress the place up like a haunted house, and you have like a horror game, or like Until Dawn movie night. Like you're talking about with a barcade style, you let everybody grab a couple drinks or whatever and friggin' scream at the person controlling the decisions.
Right.
There's some cool stuff you could do. Not that anyone in the community asked for any of that, but there you go. That's our plan right there. Even if we franchise it, Loot Bros Barcade, one starting in South Carolina, one's going to be in Missouri, one's going to be in New Jersey.
Damn.
I mean, actually, there's a pretty good spot for it because I'm just like you, where I'm right next to a college town.
Yeah, same.
University of Missouri. Yeah, and you're right next to the University of South Carolina.
Yeah,
we could make some coin.
Yes, we could.
Ooh, and I know it could be even better. So you could sponsor an esports team for the University of South Carolina.
I could sponsor my esports team with Buyer's Choice Lending.
There you go.
Wow, cheap plug, girl.
Boom. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's do a cheap plug into the damn
that's
show.
Right. If you are looking to purchase or refinance a home, do a cash out refi maybe, then I'm your guy in South Carolina and Florida. go.
All right, keep going. Next community question. I'll keep us plugging away, even though I'm part of the reason we're getting distracted. But.
You're part of the problem. All right, Ender writes in and says, if you could pull one superhero from Marvel and one superhero from DC into the other's universe, who would it be, and who would you want them to fight as their first villain? I love superhero questions.
Okay, so not a villain. Or not fighting a villain, but I'm gonna pull a villain. Well, I'm gonna pull an anti-hero.
Okay.
I would love to see the Red Hood in Marvel.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, they because we got Frank Castle. Don't get me wrong. You got Frank Castle in Marvel. Yeah. That's cool and all. But could you imagine true to life anti-hero? This dude's just I'm upset and angry at the world.
Right. I don't see him and Frank Castle feuding. I see them. That's a buddy cop thing. Oh, you like to kill bad guys?
Oh, I wasn't talking about them feuding. I was just talking about having another anti-hero because Frank Castle's really the only anti-hero I can think of in Marvel, honestly.
Yeah, he's the only real anti-hero. I mean, you got
because I wouldn't
Deadpool kind of.
He's not an anti-hero. He's just an asshole. I mean, if we're being honest, he's just an asshole.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
But who would he feuding with? What would I? I think I'd like to see him feud with Warmonger.
Okay.
That would be really entertaining. Like both ex-military and assassin skills and stuff. As a first villain, that would be pretty dope.
I dig it. All right, Joe.
I mean,
well, no. Hang on. Technically, Zach's not done yet because you pulled one from the.
I got to pull Marvel.
They got to pull the opposite direction. Yep.
Marvel wise, see, I like smaller characters, but Marvel wise, I think I'd pull Bucky over.
Okay.
And I would like to see Bucky take on. I'd like to see Buck take on Lex Luthor or something. That'd be kind of entertaining.
Okay.
Because Bucky's kind of like the strong arm, and he's not completely stupid, but he's not the smartest one in the world either. I feel like he'd get captured by Lex and turn to Lex's minion after that. He got double dipped.
I dig it. All right, Joe.
I mean, I think I'm pulling Batman over to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Because why not? Because my man keeps getting shit on anyway. Might as well pull him over.
Go to the MC to the MCU.
Maybe I should bring Batgirl with him because fuck that. She's getting all dumped on too. Yeah, and I would have him fight. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. I might just have him join the Avengers and say, fuck it. He can fight Thanos. Or he can fight whoever they're going to fight next. I don't know. I have him join the Avengers.
Say that again. Say that again the right way.
What?
Say it again the right way.
What?
What's his name?
Oh,
Thanos.
Thanos.
Jeez.
You know what? We're gonna send you back to school.
Shang soon.
Famous.
We're gonna send you back to school.
Who you pulling over from Marvel to go to DC?
That's a tough one too. I mean, maybe pull Deadpool and have him go up against the Joker.
Oh no!
There you go.
That'd be pretty interesting. At least the comedy in that movie would be absolutely fantastic between the two of them going back and forth. And I think that's where you get I don't know, man. I can't wait to talk about our topic of the week because there's so much shit just happened last week. So
hello, less scary. I could just imagine. Hello, less scary Pennywise.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Who's this asshole in the spandex fucking BDS suit over here?
It's like that line in Hancock. Whenever Mike Epps was like, "Hey, hand job, get over here with that tight A Wolverine outfit."
Hand job. That movie is actually not terrible.
This is great, dude. I love that movie. I saw that movie in the theaters. I freaking rolled. I thought it was so
Did not
good.
pay money to see that movie.
So I don't know. I guess I say I enjoyed it back then. I don't know if it holds up now, but like, you know, I don't know that I love the weird romance stuff they had going on. But I think that the humor and the action was really freaking good. And Mike Epps calling Hancock hand job was just I thought that was hilarious.
Hand job's like the porno version of that movie, though, right?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't frequent that website, Joe.
If it exists.
All right. That being said, I am pulling Wolverine into the DC. I'm going to make him go up against Batman's Rogues. I would like to see Wolverine just straight up go against the League of Assassins with Ra's al Ghul. So,
that would be pretty good.
Got some one-eyed Wolverine patch, freaking slicing and dicing, rocking his katana. And then, you know, initially I was thinking Batman. You know what I'm saying? Pull Batman over. But the more I think about it, the more I just don't think that's a good fit. I don't know that there's a villain in the MCU that is suitable for Batman. I just don't know that the villain styles are just too different.
I agree.
And I don't know. I just don't know that would work. So I think what I would then do is pull Superman over and then have Superman fight it out with all the, you know, like your, who's the guy, the big giant guy all of a sudden, I can't remember his name, that eats the worlds. Freaking, what's his name? Oh, goodness.
Galactus?
The big purple guy with a helmet. Galactus, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Superman versus Galactus, you know, and have him take on something crazy like that, or even even Thanos, you know what I'm saying? Superman versus Thanos, because it wouldn't be a wimpy, you know, crybaby Hulk situation where he, you know, finally someone lands a punch that stings, and then they freaking ruin his character for, you know, the course of 3 movies.
I mean, they built that up so well, and they just killed everything in one.
They killed everything. They killed him. They killed the Thor. These were excellent, well-established characters, and they freaking made them the butt of the jokes. And I think
has anyone seen Thor: Love and Thunder yet?
I'm not watching it.
I've heard it's gotten really good reviews.
I heard it's really good, but I heard so what I've heard the biggest criticism of that movie is it's too short because it's the shortest Marvel movie. I think it's only like 90, like it's less than 2 hours.
Yeah,
so for
I've
a Marvel movie,
heard that it's pretty terrible, and it's the worst rated Thor movie, and it has the biggest drop off.
Wow, it's the worst rated Thor movie. That's fucking saying something, because like half those movies are fucking trash. Like,
yeah, dude, it's the.
What do you mean? Dark World and Ragnarok were fan-freaking-tastic.
Dark World's okay. It's way better than the first Thor movie, which is absolutely
I like
abysmal.
Dark World better than the first movie. I did not like Ragnarok. But I don't like that Thor. I don't like the goofy Thor. I don't like the comic relief. Like, I just think that, like, God dog, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, we made somebody laugh with Thor. Let's do it again. Oh, let's make him laugh again. Oh my gosh, let's make him laugh again. Let's make him fat. I don't know. You already have Chris Pratt. Why do you need a Chris Pratt with a British accent?
I think Fat Thor should have got his own series or like montage series on Disney Plus where like he shed all the weight. Yeah, like, I would have watched that shit. That would have been 6 episodes of something I would have watched on Disney Plus.
Me personally, I don't know. The Marvel movies are good movies overall, but like what they did to Thor and what they did to Hulk, I just thought were unforgivable. Personally,
yeah,
I like Morbius better than both their movies.
Oh
my god! All right, let's move on.
It's Morbin time.
Your opinion's been invalidated.
Jesus. Morbius was not a bad movie at all.
I know it was a shitty movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It was shitty.
No, it was not.
It was a shitty movie. It wasn't a bad movie.
No, it was not. It was not bad.
Then again, your favorite Batman is Batfleck. So yeah,
you're right. The best Batman. The best Batman.
No.
You know what? The best thing they ever did was cancel freaking Batgirl. All right, so Games and Games Media writes in and says, "What is your favorite movie death?" I gotta go.
My favorite death?
Optimus Prime.
Favorite movie death?
Optimus Prime, because he's a pussy.
I don't know.
Dude, I just watched a bunch of those, and he's died a few times.
Yeah, but Optimus Prime in the cartoon movie, that death was like just so well done, and it like
And heartbreaking.
it was. But like as a kid, I was like, oh shit, they just killed Optimus Prime. Like that shit happened. Like you never see a hero die in something like that. So I was like, oh man. Or like when they killed Duke in GI Joe, I was like, whoa, whoa, he just killed Duke. That movie's fucking trash, but you still killed Duke.
Dang.
But yeah, Optimus Prime dying, and then like Rodimus Prime terribly taking over so badly that they had to bring Optimus Prime back from the dead. Like, bro, you did such a bad. It's like WWE being like, you're so bad as champion, we got to make the other guy babyface to make him champion because you just suck. So,
I don't like. Well, all right, we're not going to get into wrestling yet. I'm going to wait.
So, I would say my favorite death is. You guys ever watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah,
it has been a very long time.
Yeah, show's fantastic.
When she stakes that one guy, and he's like, ugh, ugh, and he's like kicking the door, he's kicking the wall, and he just like dies for freaking ever.
Does she make a comment? Are you just gonna die or something like that?
Something, yeah.
Or can you just die already? Yeah,
it was just so good. It was just like so dumb and comical, but yet like it kind of fit that world.
That show's so well written.
Well, I was talking about the movie, but yeah, that show's good too. There ain't too many people out there I've ever heard that didn't like Buffy. So.
Damn, man, that Chaos Bleeds game for PS2, fantastic game.
There you go.
Yeah, I gotta make a full circle for all our video game fans out there.
All right, now Gagam also writes in and wants to know what's your favorite video game death.
Cat from Halo and Halo Reach. It was so well done. And I guess all the rest of Noble Team was that their deaths were so well done, and just added so much to the story, and just made you feel so much. They were, yeah, they hit you right in the feels, 125 million%.
I would say Jessie in Final Fantasy remake, because she's the best girl. She didn't deserve that. Didn't deserve it at all.
Yeah, she died kind of early, didn't she? I just played it.
Yeah.
I feel like she died kind of early.
Well, I mean, she dies towards the end of the game, but I feel like, she dies early in the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say Dom from Gears of War 2, just because I didn't expect Dom to die. And is it Gears of War 2? No, Maria dies in Gears of War 2. It's Gears of War 3, Dom dies. Yeah. Maria. I didn't expect Dom to die, and it was such a good, sad build up.
You could have been an asshole and said Maria.
Maria. But yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, man, this has got me in the feels. This has got me. That's my brother. That was my brother.
Dom went out for the cause, man.
Yeah, he did. Hey, what about you, Zach? Did you give us a good video game death?
I did.
Way to pay attention, Darrell.
What did you say? I don't remember already.
I literally just said Noble Team.
Oh yeah. You said Cat. That's right, Cat. And then you said all.
I said Cat, and then I said Noble Team.
Yeah, you know what? Why that didn't register? Because I was trying to think about. Wait a second. Who's the chick in the Halo show who took out her behavior implant? I
don't know. I haven't finished it yet.
You haven't finished it yet? Oh, dude.
No, it came out in that year. So, all right. So I've been preoccupied. As soon as I've been preoccupied watching anime with my wife, and we also watched Stranger Things too. Stranger Things came out and took precedence over like everything.
Gotcha. Well.
And then I picked up my Power Ranger role-playing game, so now I'm being a freaking nerd and watching through all the Power Rangers again.
Oh, Mighty Morphin?
Already finished it. Finished Zeo. Finished Turbo. I am on
Damn! You are making some moves
right now.
Dang.
They're only like 20 minutes.
That's how you know the Halo show is not good. If he's done all that, and Halo came out months ago.
There are only 22-minute episodes, and you can watch all of them. So I guess the best thing that Power Rangers ever did, if you follow the Power Rangers official.
Oh, what the hell!
Everything is free.
What's it on? What streaming service is it on?
YouTube. Literally, just playing YouTube. You can watch every season for free.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
My whole life's a lie.
I didn't know that until I was clicking around, and I was mad because I was like, man, I want to watch In Space, but it's not on like any streaming service I have free. And then I literally was clicking on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I watched a couple of the like the fan made ones.
Do you like In
and
Space?
Oh, In Space has probably got one of the best stories out of any of the seasons.
It's
Storyline wise, like writing wise, they had one of the best stories.
It's crazy. Like people talk about that show, but like I would say the worst seasons are like the Mighty Morphin ones, only because they had no like congruent plot lines, except for like
They had plot. They had plot lines. They were just they were very campy.
I mean, they had
And they were
Take my monster.
they had a they had a few good story arcs, but I felt like they weren't like the later seasons after they got rid of that cast. They actually had like a through plot line through the entire like season. There was an actual like beginning and end point.
Yeah. Like I said, but those back then were very campy, and they were also trying to keep up with the Super Sentai version, which is a little bit different. And then, so fun fact, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie and the Turbo movie aren't canon to that universe.
Interesting.
They're not part of that storyline. So the Power Rangers television series canonically is in the Prime universe, and there's actually a couple series that they released that are not in the Prime universe. But I can get more into that at a later date.
Maybe we should do a Power Rangers deep dive show.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make Darrell watch Power Rangers again. The first 3 seasons are on Netflix, so you can watch it ad free there, Darrell.
I'll do it.
So just Mighty Morphin's on there, right? That's it.
On Netflix, and then I think 2 of the newer ones, like Ninja Steel or something like that. So I'm watching them through because where I stopped watching as a child, like, and I didn't keep watching when I was an adult. I stopped at like Mystic Force, I believe.
Damn, you got that far? I guess you're way younger than I am, so like
I'm 26, but as a teenager, like I was like 12 or so, like when that when that season came out.
Bro.
So I was like, all right, this is where I'm stopping, and like after that, I just got into like anime and stuff. So
I got to see the first movie in a movie theater. So
I did too. It was so good.
You both.
Yeah, that shit's prime, bro. Living through that was insane. That was like, dude, living through that first gen. I mean, we're getting on a tangent here, but living on the first generation of Power Rangers, it was like crack, bro.
Yep.
It was like Ninja Turtle crack.
It was the biggest thing.
It was like the second coming Ninja Turtles, bro. It really was.
Yep.
Like, it was like, oh man, like as Ninja Turtles started to die out, Power Rangers just like took that like energy and just like amplified it to like 1,000. And if they didn't fuck up with that stupid Venus de Milo turtle, I think that Turtles live action show with the Ninja Turtle with the people with Saban behind it, I think it would have been a great show, but they shot themselves in the foot by adding that 5th turtle that no one really wanted.
Yep. I agree. Dude, friggin' Power Rangers and that Power Rangers movie, and then going to like Burger King and stuff, and getting
McDonald's,
the Power Rangers movie figures.
Was it McDonald's? Yeah, figure with the car.
Oh,
each Megazord had a car for the movie. Yeah. Oh man, I had all. So my sister worked at McDonald's at the time, and she used to get me all of them. Yeah, I had 2 sets of like all of those.
Dude, we had those figures, and we take them to school. Man, we had our Power Ranger Pogs, and our Power Ranger Slammer.
Power Ranger thermos and lunchbox set.
Freaking getting it at lunch, dude. You didn't want to come out there on recess if you ain't had your Pog, you had your Slammer, you ain't had your friggin' Power Rangers action figures. You weren't nothing. Especially the ones that had the like you could pull their belt down and their heads would flip.
Popped, yeah.
Morphin time.
Yep. It wasn't there. You didn't pull their belts down. It was a button on it.
There's a button on it. Yeah.
I actually had a couple of them. It was like an actual like spring loaded button, and it if you had it a certain way, it would flip really fast. But then you had to move it back the other way.
Dude, shout out Josh Adams. He's got all those junks in the box still.
Damn.
A couple years back, I was buying Power Ranger action figures.
They just re-released them all.
And stuff. I think they did.
They did, but those aren't the originals. So
but he's got the original ones.
Yeah.
He's got them all, dude. He's got them all in the box, man. Like it's legit.
Yeah, I just bought a re-released Raphael figure because they re-released the first 6 figures again this year for the Turtles. And I bought Raphael because I buy every Raphael figure I find for like any set that they ever make for anything. So I just keep them in the box. I don't look for open.
Dope. All right, Diego writes in, says if you could take a great movie you've seen and have it be a video game instead, following the same plot, but with extra content put in, what movie would you choose to become a video game?
Oh man,
I got one.
I do too. Go ahead, Daryl. We'll let you go first this time.
Big Trouble in Little China.
oh hell yeah!
God, that movie is basically a video game anyway.
That movie's a masterpiece.
Movie's so good.
I gotta get that shit on Blu-ray so I can watch it any day of the week. I still don't own it on Blu-ray.
I got it on. I've got it, and I think I can't remember if mine's a Blu-ray or DVD, but I got it in my room right now. I was gonna watch it the other night.
Googling it right now.
But dude, the case I have is like it's like a VHS sleeve, but you pull the case for the disc out, whatever. Dope. It's so cool. God, dog, man, those freaking dudes. See, that was like cool because that was like Mortal Kombat characters in a movie before Mortal Kombat was in a movie. Because you had those dudes, you know what I'm saying, that like had like the lightning powers that looked like Kung Lao.
Oh shit, it's $5 a Target, bro.
Dude, get that jump. That's like Zach, have you seen Big Trouble in Little China?
I have not. That's why I had no comments here.
Directed by one of the greatest. It's directed by probably either the greatest or second greatest horror director of all time. So
it's good.
John Carpenter's,
it's real good.
John Carpenter's amazing.
Yes, dude. John Carpenter's Vampires was great. Freaking Jericho, what? Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's so worth your time.
And purchase.
Boom.
We just bought Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not buying video games. Leave me alone.
Exactly. I bought a Blu-ray for $6.
There you go.
I actually bought a memory card for my daughter's Switch and went to buy her a game and they didn't have it in the store and she had like a temper tantrum, so we had to leave the store. Shit was crazy.
Dang. I hate that junk.
Oh man,
I was pretty fortunate, man. My kids did pretty good in stores. I didn't have too many of those. We've had our share of issues in public places with kids, but I'm pretty fortunate. I didn't have too many of those walk out the store. Now I did have some real bad freakouts at dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like when they were babies.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
That does suck.
But yeah. So yeah, Big Trouble in Little China, 1,000%.
So what kind of game would you make it though?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know.
Uncharted
I would
style an action game.
Metal Gear Solid, maybe, because you did have to sneak into that place to try to save that chick, and there so you remember in Metal Gear Solid 4 how like the war's going on, but you're sneaking in and out of buildings and kind of trying to hide away from everything while all the action is taking place. And even that scene when that vampire character comes down and kills all those freaking dudes or whatever, and like Snake is seeing all this stuff, but he's doing his best to like not have to interact with it. Like that, on top of the fact that like Snake's character is loosely based off of Snake Plissken. I would definitely do a third person stealth action Metal Gear Solid. But instead of a lot of gun combat, I would have, a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Almost like a beat 'em up, Sifu fighting style kind of thing.
I honestly think if you gave that game to any developer, I would give it to Suda51.
Oh, dude, he would make it wild as
my
freak.
God.
Oh my gosh,
him and Grasshopper together making that. Oh my
dude,
God.
Grasshopper making a Big Trouble in Little China in the vein of freaking Killer is Dead.
Yeah,
and Shadow of the Damned. Yes, that would be amazing. I think we just built the greatest game that could ever be built.
Jeez,
I think that right there
now.
would be.
Someone call Suda now. Get his number. Get that man on the horn because I need this game. Like yesterday.
Dude, could you imagine Suda and Kojima like
tag teaming any game?
Oh my gosh! Well, tag teaming Big Trouble in Little China.
Head would explode.
That would be literal insanity. That's crazy. Yeah, Zach, that's definitely one you should watch. We should do a Super Loot Bros on Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh hell yeah, I'm down.
Next month, down. Let's do it.
Let's do it. That is such a good freaking movie.
Get your ass on Target.com. It's $5.99, people. Buy it now.
if I charge anything to Target, my wife's gonna I smell Target.
Yeah. Oh no, I gotta go on. Dude, I bet you it's on a streaming service. So
I don't
Probably.
know if it is. I'm gonna Google it
I don't
again.
know.
I'll Google it again.
all right. Well, here you go. While we're discussing the next question, I'll look it up.
You're the only person that got to answer that question. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I
gave
Well,
you
yeah,
the
While we're
he gave-
discussing the
he
next
gave-
question,
He gave the
none
definitive
of-
answer.
There's literally nothing better
He
than
gave the
that.
definitive answer.
I would pleasantly disagree with that.
Okay, go for it.
I would love to see the Crow built into an open world.
Oh,
Brandon Lee's Crow in an open world. Oh man, I would love to play as him. Like, and I just want that darker open world game because we haven't really gotten anything like that. And
it'd be like an Arkham game.
yeah, it would be like an Arkham game, but I want it darker. I want this thing like straight M-rated, like what a good Punisher game should be, but
Oh yeah.
but like darker because his universe is super dark. Or even a really good Spawn game.
There is a really good Spawn game.
What is it?
There was.
Dreamcast one's good. The Super Nintendo one's good.
Oh well, I haven't played either of those. So sorry.
All right, go ahead. Well, I mean, Joe, you and I kind of tag teamed it. So
yeah, but if I could, I mean, I want a. So I either want one of the two things, and they're both made by the same studio. I want Supermassive Games to either make a Nightmare on Elm Street video game using like the vein and the style of like Until Dawn, or I want them to make a game based on like the Scream franchise using Until Dawn, like that type of game.
I was waiting for that.
It'd be fucking amazing, like what he could pull off, what that studio could pull off with that type of engine and what they did with Quarry with the little I played. Yeah, I'm excited.
So I would agree with I would agree with a Nightmare on Elm Street being that type of game, but I think I'd agree more with Scream being a survival horror game.
That'd be cool, more in the vein of like Clock Tower. Bring that kind of gameplay back where you have to hide basically.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And then like find like resources, like find a knife to slow him down, or
even like a child's play game,
or set traps and stuff like that. That would be really cool too.
A child's play game where you have to keep running from Chucky like continuously.
Yeah, that would actually be kind of fun.
Because like I feel like he's like one of the only killers where like it's not a whodunit or like not a it's just like you have to fucking just keep escaping like constantly, or a Jason one like that. Like I would love a sequel to Friday the 13th, the game. Like, and I would love them. Honestly, I would love the same studio to make the game, knowing what they know now and what they've done, like going forward. I would love them to make it, and I really want them to just call it Friday the 13th Part 2. Because I think it would be hilarious.
The worst part about that is it's funny what can make games like come back to life again, and of course a TikTok made Friday the 13th come back to life.
Honestly, it's crazy how many people are playing it right now.
Yep,
it's been revitalized again.
All over a Katy Perry song being played over one of the characters dancing naked over Jason's body.
It's okay.
That's all you need.
Katy Perry, man.
Yeah. So a quick little update. Big Trouble in Little China is available on Hulu.
It is?
Oh, sweet.
I'll watch it right after we get off of this shit.
I've got it on one of my screens right now.
You think we're getting off of this? You're funny.
I'm going to make popcorn and I'm going to watch that movie.
Oh my gosh. So my wife worked her last night shift last night, right? So she's going to be tired. So she's probably already asleep. And if she's not, she'll go to sleep like a normal person tonight. But I will be going to bed watching Big Trouble in Little China. Even though I got it on right now, just kind of in the background as we're recording. I'm totally going to bed watching this.
Dude, imagine a Big Trouble in Little Chinatown fighting game, Daryl.
Dude, yeah, I'm saying I'd be all about it.
Beat 'em up, be cool. Get the people who made
there's a comic book, Big Trouble in Little China.
Get Rockstar to make the beat 'em up like they made the Warriors with that art style.
Dang.
You said Sifu. Did you actually play Sifu yet?
No, but I just watched some like
I want to play
videos on it.
Sifu like badly.
You have a lot of games to finish there, you.
Yeah, I know.
We all do. That's the gift and the curse of our hobby.
Man, I have been power washing this backyard the whole time we've been talking. Still not done with it. It's 96% clean, I'm pretty sure.
I love how you are talking about power washing things, and people are like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But you're playing Power Washing Simulator, so
I mentioned Power Washing Simulator. We're good.
You did.
So, all right, what is our next question? Oh, our most memorable. What is our memorable moment involving Vince McMahon? What is your most memorable moment involving Vince McMahon?
Oh man, that's a good one.
That's hard.
Vince was a pretty, he's an OG, man. He did some stuff, and I was quite a big fan. Most memorable moment for me, I don't know that I have one, but since I've been just marathoning through the Attitude Era as I've been working, like I've just had one of my screens, just Attitude Era stuff. Just his inability to take a Stone Cold Stunner without botching it. Like it's just
sad. It's like, are you serious? Like still,
dude, for 20 years, it's just been the.
But my dude took that shit
does
on
that like gigantic wiggle.
My dude took that shit on the reg like every Monday night. You think at one point he'd be able to take it? Like seriously?
Oh yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that I have a single moment, but just watching all of these videos, of him taking the Stone Cold Stunner and just him with the corporation and then the corporate ministry, his feuds with Stone Cold were legendary. So I just, right now, as soon as that thing popped, as soon as that question popped up, I'm like, yeah, definitely some of the most memorable stuff is just him taking stunners poorly. And he just took the worst one at 79 years old at WrestleMania. Like it was he almost fell over trying to take the stunner. So
yeah.
But what about you guys? Any Vince McMahon moments just kind of stand out?
When he got his head shaved at WrestleMania.
Oh, that was such a good one.
That was him versus Donald Trump, which was the funniest part.
Hair versus hair match.
What was it? Lashley versus
Lashley versus, I think it was Triple H.
Umaga?
No, it was somebody.
It might have been Lashley Umaga.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember. The bad thing is they didn't matter. It was the friggin' Battle of the Billionaires.
Yeah.
You were there to hear friggin', and then Donald Trump giving him the friggin' clothesline. I was just like, dude, that was $1 billion clothesline right there. That was amazing. So, but
yep. Joe, what about you?
His commentary, 100% his commentary. He's one of the best wrestling commentators of all time, and it's just because he was not that great at it, but he was. Like his voice was just such a good commentating voice. Like he's up there with me with like Bobby the Brain and like Gorilla Monsoon is like my favorite WWE commentators of all time. Like,
I always liked Tony Schiavone a lot.
I was never a Schiavone fan.
It might just be a nostalgia thing.
The voice.
Yeah. It might just be, I just remember hearing, I mean, even Eric Bischoff was a good commentator.
I liked What's His Face, the really bad one.
I like okay.
It's just
so Notorious wise, and the person I always love to hear on the mic because he's like in character, but he's still really good at commentating is Taz.
Yeah, he was good.
And I hate to say it, but he's better at commentating than he was at wrestling.
I don't know if that's true.
He's better at commentating than he was at wrestling. 110%.
I was never a Taz wrestling fan.
I was a huge Taz fan. Human Suplex Machine, man.
He was the suplex machine.
Get you in the
I just, matter of fact, speaking of wrestling, I just got through watching the whole angle where JR had his second episode of Bell's Palsy.
Oh,
and Michael Cole replaced him.
They actually make jokes about it, don't they?
Yeah, they make whole jokes. So he's a heel for a little while. and he has he has a little desk built in front of the commentator table that says JR on it. And so you got him and Michael Cole on the headsets basically saying the same thing. And then you got the King sitting there saying, yeah, I agree exactly with what JR said. Not you, Michael Cole. It's just so dumb. But you got JR just out there on his little tiny table in front of everybody, just trying to call the match. You got Michael Cole trying to call the match, and then you got Jerry Lawler talking about how Michael Cole's an idiot, but he's saying the exact same thing as JR. So good, dude. Wrestling was so good back then. Everything mattered. Everything mattered. Everybody mattered.
Yep.
Big
Commentary
difference.
team.
The big difference, man. Everything had a story, even the commentators.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're also we've talked about it before. We're in the PG. We're still in like the PG area. Now we're in the people pleasing area.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to go back to TV 14 soon, isn't it?
God, I hope so.
That was I read an article a few weeks back saying it was going from TV 13 to TV 14, which TV 14 is the Attitude Era. So we shall see.
Fantastic.
Shall see. I mean, Triple H is at the helm, so at least we're going to get good matches. Maybe a little less bloodline.
Thank God.
So,
I don't know what they wrote themselves in a corner. Like, that's the problem.
Right. Yep.
They wrote themselves in a giant corner.
All right. Diego writes in and says, this is specifically for Darrell. Don't forget to toast to your kid growing up so fast and speeding up the process of making you a grandpa so you can enjoy the grandkids. Yeah.
You regret telling that story yet?
No. I think it's hilarious. I actually didn't expect to get the amount of response that we did, because I got some personal messages of people that apparently when I told the story, they thought it was really funny. I didn't realize it was even going to make anyone laugh, much less, inspire questions being written in. But, it's funny. In here, I mean, like I said, everything's kind of open and there's nothing off the table here in the house. And, we've been having just candid conversations. So today we were sitting over there at my grandma's and she was like, so do we still have a girlfriend? Just kind of like getting ready to tease him a little bit for having his little girlfriend. And I was like, well, bad thing is, Grandma, he's tied up in a love triangle now. He's got two women fighting for his love. And he's like, what? Like trying to act like I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I said, ever since you got your girlfriend, then your ex decides that she wants you again. I was like, and y'all are talking every day. And it's been funny. Off mic, I've just been giving him a hard time about it. So, but he plays it out like he's shocked. But I tell you what, this morning he had his phone plugged up on the counter downstairs, and our homeboy had a missed call and text messages from his from my goddaughter. So it was quite adorable. Matter of fact, she called him the other morning. We were getting ready to go to football practice, and she called him to tell him good luck with football. I'm like,
That preteen love.
Preteen love. And it's funny because we always tell him, we always joke. I mean, since they were little, we've been saying that he and my goddaughter are going to get married. That's kind of always been. Both families are very much like, yeah, we both both families endorse this marriage. And so I've been joking with his dad about what the what do they call it when they betroth you?
Yep.
The what is the dowry? We've been joking about the dowry for a while. So the bad thing is his mom her mom's kind of expensive. So if she has anything to say, I'm gonna go broke on this one. So, but it's a good time. So, and we've been keeping it going. So, we'll see how things go in the future, and I'll keep you guys updated. And before you know it, I might be instead of Residentdarrell, I might be called. You might just call me Gramps on the show.
Resident
Grandpa,
yeah. Anytime soon.
You hope not. I hope not for like at least 10 years. At least be in here.
Resident Pappy over here.
Oh, I'm your pappy.
But if they are true preacher's kids, one of them might get the opposing partner pregnant before the age of 18.
So the idea was get out of the preaching game before my kids are old enough to ruin my reputation. So, so I did have a preaching engagement a few weeks ago, and my grandma asked me today. She asked me if I'm preaching anywhere anytime soon. I was like, no, I don't have anything booked. I'm gonna lay low for about 10 years until my kids are all out of that, teenage hormonal age, so I don't have to answer for their
sins.
Essentially, yes.
It's okay. I'll say the words that you want to say, but you can't.
It's so funny because I grew up with preacher kids, right? And like, it's funny because I was like, we weren't raised religious people like as kids. You know what I'm saying? Like that was something that I discovered and found, later in life as a teenager. Granted, we were a very traditional American family. Like, we believe in God and the Constitution, and give us our guns and keep the government away from us. That was pretty much the very stereotypical American values that we were raised with. But it was funny because I found myself gravitating to preachers' kids as friends, and one in particular was just like he was what you'd expect, preacher's kid. His dad was an awesome dude. Preached at all of our church camps and all the things that we went to as teenagers. And he used to hire me to do yard work for him and stuff like that. So I really I loved their family. I just got nothing but respect for the family. But my friend, he was, typical preacher's boy. And so I've always joked that I was going to get out of the game before my children made me look like that. So I'm officially not taking any more speaking engagements for 10 years. So, all right. Here we go. This week's official topic.
I've been waiting to say this again. Twat, 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 twat.
There you go. So, we're glad to have you back, Zach. We missed that. So, this week, we're going to be talking about the current state of DC and the Warner Bros. Discovery merger. A lot of news and stuff came out from this week. And, this is not a news show, but every now and again, something is so, I guess, important and prevalent to our interest and our audience's interest.
No,
we got to talk about
Darrell talking about Batflick. That's what's
no. Well, okay, that's going to happen regardless. But I did not choose to do this. The Batflick life chose me. All right.
This is actually
this was a Joe idea, and then MZ backed it up. So I was actually going to be a little more reserved and save it for the Patreon.
You're both
fired. You know what? Now I got to show up and defend my man's honor. So here we go. Currently, DC has released a lot of news on projects that they canned and their upcoming plan moving forward with their movies. So some of the biggest news to come out of it are 2 films got nixed 100%. So Batgirl got nixed after being filmed, and then Supergirl got nixed after, I think all they've done is principal photography, but I got to be honest, it looked terrible, the stuff that I saw. The only thing that has really come out that seems like it would be disappointing at all out of this is that Michael Keaton was supposed to reprise his role as Batman in this particular universe. Now, just to kind of give a little bit of context for other things that are going on in DC before we kind of jump into our opinions, the Flash movie keeps getting pushed back. In the new Flash movie, it's inevitably supposed to end with a Flashpoint paradox, and the DC EU is supposed to be rebooted. Very similar to how things are rebooted in the comic books. The Flash will go back in time. He'll mess up the timeline. And then we're going to see a bunch of different versions, ultimately leading to a reboot of the DCEU. Now, in this Flash film, we're going to see Ben Affleck reprise his role as Batman, the greatest Batman. And then we're also going to see Michael Keaton reprise his role as Batman as the second greatest Batman. So this film, because the rumor is the reason why that it keeps getting pushed back is because Ezra Miller keeps getting into a bunch of trouble and keeps doing a lot of really stupid, crazy stuff because he is, in fact, an insane human being. And also we got the update that Ben Affleck will be making a cameo in the new Aquaman 2 film. And there were some photos of him backstage or on set or wherever, however that stuff works out, with Jason Momoa. Those two were hanging out. Now that continues what we know of the DCEU. Some of the reports that were coming out were that Ben Affleck is actually replacing Michael Keaton in those scenes. So at some point in time, the studios, and there's been a lot of shakeup. There's been a complete change in top tiers, all the staff. Warner Brothers and Discovery Media are merging. So there's been a changing of the guard, and Discovery has been very vocal about investing in the fandom of the Snyderverse. Okay. They have even gone as far to say, why would you not give the fans what they're asking for? You have everything already. Now, I forget the guy's first name, but Hamada is the guy who's been kind of running the DC, DC for a while. And he was very much, get away from Zack Snyder and the DCEU and let's go do the Marvel thing and make things a little bit lighter tone, a little bit campier. We'll even go as far as to bring in a director from one of the Avengers movies. And we got that really crappy Justice League film. So that being said, it seems like when AT&T purchased Warner Brothers and DC and all that stuff, and then they were selling things off, Warner Brothers and Discovery merging together. Now there's new leadership. Seems like there's been a tug of war during this changing of the guard, and the vision of what they were going to do with the DCEU and now what they're going to do with it now have been very different. So Shazam 2 got pushed. It got pushed back. The Flash has been pushed back. Supergirl's been canceled. Batgirl's been canceled. Ben Affleck is now back in the seat in The Flash and in Aquaman 2. And then the Joker 2 got its Harley Quinn. That's Lady Gaga. That's kind of also, let me throw a little bit more in there and then we'll dive into it, dissect it. The Rock has pissed off all the fans because he is calling the DC universe the Black Adam universe now. And he's been booed on stage because he has mentioned that they don't know who Superman's going to be. The fan base only wants Henry Cavill. They don't want anybody else. We still don't know what's happening with the Man. Do what?
I want Henry Cavill.
Yes, I agree. I think he is Superman. Henry Cavill wants to be Superman still. So The Rock has, really agitated the fans. I actually read a couple articles earlier in the week about how, and a lot of screen grabs and tweet grabs and stuff on how people are like, this is The Rock's using the Black Adam character as a way to boost his ego and make the whole DCEU about him. But he doesn't realize that the Black Adam is not a huge part of the DCEU. And so that's going on. So we don't know who's going to be Superman. We got The Rock kind of moving forward and saying, hey, I'm going to be your way forward. We got all this shakeup, and then we keep getting more and more commitments from Batfleck after he said he was leaving based on the way things went with the studio shakeups to begin with. So that's all the information. Zach, we'll start with you because we know Joe's going to have a mouthful. What do you think about all this?
So we talked about it slightly a little bit before, and I was trying to save it all, but I don't think they should have canned Batwoman, Batgirl, whatever it was. They spent $90 million on it. Just release the damn thing. Like, you've already had money. It's already in post-production. All these people have done all this work. What's the worst that happens? Instead of canning it, you release it and no one likes it. Cool. No one likes it. But you still, that all that work wasn't necessarily completely
right.
Complete nothing,
And we know they can do that because they did finish the Snyderverse. I mean, the Snyder cut of Justice League. So we know It's not out of the realm of possibility to go and fix this and finish it and then release it on HBO Max. And you can buy the Justice League Snyder cut version on Blu-ray and DVD, but you can't get the digital version because it is for their streaming property. So
Which
it's kind of like
which to piggyback off of their streaming property, they're if everyone doesn't know, they've already announced in June of 2023 they're going to be merging Discovery Plus and HBO Max. HBO Max will be a tile on Discovery Plus. So yeah,
which I hope they don't do with that the way they do Peacock, or the way WWE is with Peacock, because it's trash. I hope that the app is good, because the HBO Max app is really good.
Yeah,
And the way it functions as a service is really good.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I just hope, honestly, for me, I just hope there isn't a stupid price increase, because they're throwing it on there. Which it wouldn't, with the way everything's going lately, it wouldn't surprise me if it was. But one can hope.
Yep. So, do you have any more opinions out on everything that with the shakeup besides they shouldn't have canned the film?
So they're going into more of a, like we were talking about, they're going into more of an MCU.
Yep, they said they have a 10-year plan.
Type like fate, like plan, like they did. I think that's a good thing, because that will give them the time to focus on the quality of movies that we're all looking for, without necessarily maybe the quantity. I would also really like to see, so like we're getting really good stuff with like Teen Titans and like Doom Patrol and stuff like that on HBO Max, like solo shows, and Marvel's been doing the same type of thing over on Disney Plus with like Captain America, Falcon, WandaVision, stuff like that. I would love to see more of that. That would be freaking fantastic.
Yep.
Like that's really the biggest thing. Like I would like to see. I want to start seeing some like solo shows. I want to see some characters that have that have love in like the different series and stuff like that. I like to see them start getting a little more love. Like, cool, we got a Teen Titans live action. We've had a cartoon though before. Doom Patrol is really cool because we've never had anything like that before. But like I said, I would. Oh, excuse me. Oh, all that work. But I would like to see like Nightwing get his own series, even though he is in Teen Titans. Like I'd like to see like a Bloodhaven. I would love to see like they're still talking about the Blue Beetle. That's still up in the air. They don't know if they're gonna. Yep. Well, they haven't. Is it? Because they haven't even started.
As of right now, yeah. I read an article this week that said it would show the ones that are still moving forward, and then the ones that were canned. Joker and Blue Beetle were still moving forward, and then of course right after that they announced that Lady Gaga is going to be Harley Quinn.
I mean, she was in talks for a while to be Harley Quinn, apparently, because they're making a musical, so it's going to be a musical.
Oh God.
Yep, that's why they brought Lady Gaga.
That's not okay, because
I think she was cool in like
Birds
American
of Prey
Horror Story.
Yeah,
the Birds of Prey was trash. That was so bad.
It was, but they tried making that one kind of like musically. It was.
Madonna loves that movie.
Good. It was not.
The movie's so bad.
I'm surprised that they sold any pops for them.
I'm surprised that they didn't. I mean, I'm honestly surprised. Like the movie did really bad, but actually, no, didn't it make money at the box office though?
No, I don't think it was like this devastating flop, but it was not.
It went almost straight. It went almost straight to digital.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Well, it came like right out in the pandemic, in the heart of the pandemic, so it really didn't have a leg to stand on, unfortunately.
And that's probably how it'll get kind of glossed over. But the movie was just so bad, and the acting was terrible.
She's not terrible. Everyone around her is terrible.
Right. I think Harley Quinn was the best part, but good Lord, man, like this. I mean, and like everybody talked about how great the Huntress character was, and like although her action scenes and her character was cool, her acting and her facial expressions were just.
You're not a Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan?
No, God, no. I wasn't a fan of anybody in there, especially Black Canary. I thought that was the way that they handled her character, Dinah Lance, or whatever version of her they were going with. It was just so bad, dude. I'm like, this is not my Black Canary.
No one's Black Canary.
No, that was trash. So, what about you, Joe? I mean, you've had some very strong opinions of this whole thing.
I mean, it's
leading up to the show.
It's crazy because like they have no fucking direction, like none. Like it's like it shows you how different and worlds apart like Marvel is versus like DC as far as like handling their cinematic universes. Like Marvel has a plan. DC's like kind of have a plan, but we're gonna rush that plan because we gotta compete with Marvel. Like they should never have had that like thought process. Is they should have just tried to replicate what Marvel did and take their time. But they wanted to jump ahead 5 steps. Like Marvel put all the groundwork in place. Marvel took their time. They built all their characters up, and they laid the seeds for all their epic movies to take place. And not for nothing, like Marvel is starting to fall flat a little bit. Like a lot of people say this last phase is the worst phase they've done so far. Like they did nothing this phase. Nothing happened.
This current phase has been kind of
trash.
Boring compared to.
Well, it's all fucking TV shows. Like the thing with Marvel is I'm getting sick of having to watch 10 TV shows to be able to watch a movie now. It's like, it's too much work.
Yeah. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was a really big like indicator of that. So like
commitment.
I enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, because to kind of understand why, and spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it, you're way past the threshold, anyways. They should have 125 million% like not done WandaVision because like that, like if you didn't watch WandaVision, like the reason she was pissed off probably didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yep, and I couldn't finish WandaVision. I thought it was so bad, and then like this whole thing happens with her, and I'm like, well, I'm assuming this is because of WandaVision, but like I don't have a clue.
Like the movie itself was really well put together, but like I said, if you didn't watch WandaVision, some of it like you just didn't understand. I didn't watch WandaVision, but like my wife watched it, so I was like, yeah, well, I guess I could kind of get this a little bit, but like I said, it was still kind of difficult going into it without that knowledge.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I agree with both of you guys actually. So like I think that we're dodging a bullet with this Batgirl movie.
Yeah, I don't. And I think it could have been decent.
I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of faith in it. It's just too. It's like a bunch of noise. It's like to me, this has all of the markings of the Birds of Prey, right? Like they came out the gate saying, "Hey, we chose our Batgirl as a person of color." And that's what they led with. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're also bringing back the Commissioner Gordon from the DCEU proper. And then it's like, but we're going to have cameos from Batman, from Michael Keaton's Batman. So it's like, wait, what world are we in? You know what I'm saying? Like, what universe is this? They let it out with 3 different like strands of, wow. 3 different strands of worlds that they've built, and it's like, well, okay, wait a second, is this DCEU? Because you got the Commissioner Gordon from the DCEU, but wait a second, now you've chosen a person of color for Batgirl, so is this Earth 2 like Robert Pattinson's, you know what I'm saying, like universe, because where Commissioner Gordon is a person of color? And it's like, oh, but no, wait a second. Michael Keaton's the Batman, but wait, he's already got Batgirl. Yeah, Alicia Silverstone is Batgirl. So like, you see the jumbled up mess right there? It's like, well, what is it? What are you doing?
It's like, how does this universe tie together? Like, how is it possible for these universes to tie together? They're just mixing things together because that's what they want. That's what the fans want. They
think that's what we want, but like, they're not listening. They're not listening to what the fans want. The fans have asked for continuity since day one. The fans, the DC fans, and I like to consider myself one of them, have asked for 2 things. Either you pick a continuity and stick with it, or all of your stories need to be Elseworlds, and that's the way you approach it. Standalone films that are self-contained, which that's a DC thing. DC has the multiverse. So then a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, DC's like, hey, we're going to be moving forward with the multiverse. and we're going to tell different stories in different universes. We're going to have the DCEU, but we're also going to have the Titans universe. So you're going to have a Batman in the DCEU, you're going to have a Batman in the Titans universe. But then we're also going to have the Earth 2 Robert Pattinson universe, So the promise was we're going to get all these different stories. Yeah, we're going to have our Joker over here, but we're also going to have Joaquin Phoenix's Joker over here. Well, then you meet Bruce Wayne in that movie, and Bruce Wayne is a freaking preteen.
But again, they don't explain this, and they don't explain it correctly.
And that's the problem. They're not explaining it on the PR side. They're not explaining it in their individual films, and then they're also not explaining it in their overall continuity and decision making. So the problem has always been with DC is that you're right. The studio heads do not know what they're doing, or at least it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing. And then the directors are all trying to make their own movies, but there's no Kevin Feige tying it all together. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Kevin Feige fan, but I understand that he does good work, and his overall organization and production and passion for the MCU has built some phenomenal movies and a phenomenal story. Now, that being said, you got this big, so you had essentially what led to the first wave of disruption in DC, and that was when Zack Snyder's daughter died, and then he needed time away from the film. They replaced him with Joss Whedon. So then you got a bunch of reshoots, a bunch of cuts, and really bad CG to stitch together a more Avengers MCU style version of the film that was created. And the film comes out, it was poorly received by the fan base, and they immediately started calling for the original version that we were promised with the original director. So then we have, almost 5 years go by with the fans really going to war on social media against Warner Brothers to finally get the film that we were promised. In that time, there was a whole changing of the guard, and then AT&T had purchased Warner Brothers in DC. So then what we get is this kind of half step where we're like, well, we're kind of continuing this because we gave you this Justice League film you were asking for. And then we're also going to continue with Wonder Woman that's also in that same continuity. Yeah. Oh, wait, we made $1 billion with Aquaman. So yeah, we're totally keeping Jason Momoa and his Aquaman. Like, we love Ezra Miller, we the studio, not we the fans. So we're going to do the Flash movie, but they canned the Cyborg movie. And that's one of the things that goes kind of largely unreported is how Ray Fisher's Cyborg has just been destroyed, which I thought he did a great job. I think
I thought he was good.
I agree.
I liked him as Cyborg.
But essentially, Joss Whedon cut him out of the film. So then you get Zack Snyder's version, the Snyder cut, you get a lot of the Cyborg stuff's put back in there. He's a much more important part of the DC EU moving forward, and he was supposed to get his own standalone film. That's what was promised. So we lost the Cyborg film. The Flash film had gone through multiple iterations, one of which where Ezra Miller actually tried to write the script himself. So we get this Flashpoint, and we're almost promised like, okay, we're going to do like a big reboot, and then that's going to be the big reset, which is cool. Fine, I'm fine with that. That's very DC in style. You instead of doing a phase and then doing another phase and then doing another phase like MCU, you do your phase and then you explode the universes and start over. Then you do your or you do your multiverse stuff. So whatever. So what we ended up getting out of all this was just so many different stories with no real direction on which ones are what. So on the MCU side, at least everything makes sense. Now you kind of need everything to really know what's going on. On the DC side, you can just pick whatever you want to watch and watch it, and essentially it's self-contained. But then it wasn't, because it was like, okay, here's the DCEU. So originally it was Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Man of Steel 2, Justice League 2. That was supposed to be the original arc. From there, you got Wonder Woman, Shazam, and Aquaman. You're originally going to have the Flash, and you're going to have a Cyborg movie. Okay? You ended up getting Wonder Woman, which was really good. Aquaman, which was really good. Wonder Woman 84, which sucked major monkey nuts. That movie was absolutely awful. That movie
Still
was
haven't even watched
Dude,
terrible.
it was so bad.
It was cringy. It was so bad.
So
Right?
don't waste my time. Got it.
No, Wonder Woman 84 is a
you can watch it
terrible
because
film.
I want to do we could do an extra episode on that.
Oh my gosh.
It's so
Yeah,
bad.
that-
Like it.
Nope.
the thing is
I don't
Gal
feel like
Gadot
wasting
is
my
really
time
good.
creating content on bad content.
Yeah, Gal Gadot is really good. The guy that plays Steve Trevor is really good. What's her face? Kristen Wiig, who plays Cheetah, was remarkably good in that role. And she took on a persona I'd never seen her play before on screen.
But she didn't get enough screen time.
Right, I agree. But the overall film, the CG, and the story itself was trash. It was absolute trash. Absolute utter garbage. There were things about it that were good, but for the most part, it was a cluster of a movie. Now, what we originally promised with the story arc from Batman and Super, so you had Superman. It was essentially like the whole thing was supposed to be his coming to terms with what he is and his place in the world, his struggle with, is he human, is he alien, does he want to have a normal life, can he be the superhero up to where he dies, then he comes back to life, and then he realizes what he's got to do moving forward, blah blah blah, being the savior of the universe. All of that was supposed to end with Batman sacrificing himself and dying at the hands of Darkseid in the end of the 5-film arc. Okay? That's what the storyboard was. That's what was originally supposed to happen. Well, we lost all that. And then throughout all of the chaos and all of the turnover and all of the rewrites and all that trash, Ben Affleck retires as Batman. One of the saddest days of my life. Next to Ric Flair's initial retirement. Those were 2 times where I honestly just felt utterly gutted.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Well, the best part is both of them keep coming back, so it's like they're playing with my emotions, but whatever. All right, so then we get Ben Affleck commits to doing this Batman role with the Flash film. And then Ben Affleck says, "This is one of the best times I've ever had in this role. It's been awesome." So he's gone on record saying that like this has been the experience I longed for all along. Now they got him in Aquaman. So we're like, wait a second. It was the DCU was done and now it's not. So it's like, what are we doing? Are we trying to pick up where we left off? Are we trying to fix the problems? Because now we've had not 1, but 2 head executive and full studio head turnovers. And it's like, are you going to bring him back just to inevitably end it with the Flash movie and then reboot everything? Does that mean that we're rebooting Shazam as well? So it's a mess, and it's a cluster. So I'm looking at it like this: principal photography and everything they had for Supergirl building up looked awful. They looked terrible.
I mean,
The
who
woman
really
they
wants
picked,
a damn Supergirl movie?
the suit that they had, her haircut, everything was just like no.
Superwoman or Supergirl?
Supergirl. I don't know. There is a Superwoman in the DC proper.
I mean, why not just make the girl that was Supergirl in the movie? She was really good. I like Supergirl.
Yeah,
I thought that show was really good until they made Supergirl like, we're not going to go into that.
Right, exactly. Until they did what they did with their shows, which they killed their own shows. Doing stupid crap. The guy that played Grant, whatever.
No, we're just gonna like when they made their main villain and Supergirl like love interests of each other. I was like, this is dumb.
Well, what they did with the CW's biggest problem is whatever social political garbage is going on, it's like they immediately write it into their television show. So whenever there is something racist happening in the news, all of a sudden you're dealing with race issues written into the show. Whenever there was trans drama going on, it was like, oh, wait a second, we got the first trans superhero. I mean, it was literally a parrot of 1-to-1 of like, what's going on socially and politically? Oh, we're going to do that in Supergirl. Supergirl was like, writing wise, it was awful. It was terrible. It was hard to stomach.
My friends used to call it super woke.
It was. And that's the problem with the CW. The CW started off with some really excellent IP and great stories. And then they started doing that. Even in 2016, whenever the Supreme Court had declared it legal for homosexuals to get married, the gay rights thing, whatever. It was like the next week. I mean, I'm not saying it realistically was, but it was like a week or two after. It's like you got the Flash running and he's like going to save the day. And then it's like he stops. He hears something in mid Speed Force run, turns right, goes over, saves a guy, brings him down. And then it's like, oh, thank you so much for saving my husband. And he's like, you're welcome. Thumbs up. Then takes off and gets right back to the story. And it's like, okay, wait a second. Like 1,000-foot view. We're having a change in the culture, and then almost the very next episode or 2 episodes later, you immediately incorporate that into your show. And it was one of those things where it was so shoehorned. It was like it's obvious what you're doing. It's very on the nose. You're not being cute about it. You're not being slick about it. And you didn't put it in there because you thought that was best for the story. You put that in there because all of the CW shows are putting all of the social political stuff into their stuff in there immediately. And so it's very hard to enjoy the IP because it's like, oh, well, God forbid we have a natural disaster tomorrow because guess what's going to be in the show next month? You know, and it's just one of those things where it was like, I love good writing. I don't like bad writing. And when you I don't care what IP you're using, if you can't tell a good story or you just want to push your agenda. And the big thing is this, it's like, even if it's not an agenda thing, even if that was on the storyboards for 10 years, the timing, everything in entertainment was very much like doing the same thing. So it felt like everywhere you turn, every single one of the CW shows, it was like, oh, they're putting their opinions and their politics first over their writing. Like it's one thing to have things in there and have characters that line up with those things, and you work them in there in a very natural, organic way. When you literally interrupt running in the Speed Force to go save someone to introduce a character that has nothing to do with the story. It doesn't push the plot forward, but it's like this resonates with what's going on in the culture. And then you run right back into the next frame, going back to chase down the big bad guy. I don't know. It's very disruptive, you know? And it's one of those things where it's like, well, why did you do that? And so they did that with the Flash. And it wasn't like they didn't have characters of all walks of life and all orientation in the Arrow universe already, you know? They had that. But it's just like when they stop what they're doing and say, "Hey, look at our virtue signaling, and look at our favorite things right here. Look at what we stand for." It's like, who are you serving? I don't really think anyone feels better. I don't feel better. I don't think people really feel better represented because you did it in such a shoehorned way. And that's my opinion, but whatever. But it made all of that stuff hard to watch. And then what happens is the ratings start diving. The more they lean into this stuff, it's like, oh, then they start canceling shows. And they had just gotten to where they were doing some really cool stuff because they were having crossovers with the show and characters from the DCEU. Did you guys watch any of those big like crises that they had crossing over? And they had like Ezra Miller's Flash show up and do some Speed Force running with Grant, whatever his name's Flash.
Yeah, that was cool.
And so, like, the thing is DC has like good characters. They have good IP. They have good possibilities, but they just kept screwing it up from the top down. You know, like they're screwing it up from the studio decisions. They're screwing it up from the writing decisions. And it's like, why can't the Flash just do Flash stuff? Why can't Arrow just do Arrow stuff? Like, you want to have romances, you want to have different types of people in there, cool. We'll just write them in a good way, or use the existing characters in the universe that already line up with that. You know, it's like that they exist. Use them. Hire a writer to do a good job, not just like, oh, by the way, let's put this thing in there because this is popular. This is topical. So I don't know. From their shows to their films, they've been a disaster. They've been a mess. There's good sprinkled all in there. There's good films. There's good shows. There's good series. There's good writing. And then there's a lot of bad. And I think that the way that they spun this Batgirl out of control, it almost seems like there's something that we missed that maybe never made it to market that would have set the stage for this. You know, maybe this Batgirl film is only possibly relevant and only makes any sense based on the outcome in the Flash film. But the Flash film keeps getting delayed, and it is very possible, which I read rumors. I don't know anything specifically like that's, you know, we don't know for sure, but it's very possible that the Flash film has been changed or something changed in it, and then now Batgirl doesn't work anymore. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes total sense.
Yep.
Like it's possible, and this is just my theory, but it's possible that Michael Keaton's Batman and I forget the guy's name that plays Jim Gordon, and then this Leslie Grace, I think, was going to be playing the Batgirl in this one. It's possible that they come together on screen because the Flashpoint changes something in the universes and brings them all together in a way that we don't know because Flash hasn't happened. And I think it's very possible that they scrapped this stuff. They also did say, and I think I screen grabbed the article, but they also said on July 14th that they had a screening and a showing of this of that film, and that did very poorly. And so their quotes when they came out were that they weren't investing in things that weren't going to be successful, and they didn't want to invest in things that were not of quality. So I think that maybe, like, you know how, like, same thing with game reviews, they do mock reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It might be that their mock reviews were bad, and they're like, we just need to stop the bleeding. This doesn't work canonically anyways. So I don't know. That's a lot of information, but I've followed this stuff. You know, I've been watching the CW shows. I've been watching the HBO Max shows. I've been watching all the movies. Like, I really like DC and their property and their characters. And I feel like they have such a diverse, well-written, well-established, like, crazy amount of them available. And like today, you know, The Sandman just aired on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet, but the Sandman book is very well renowned. And the audio drama, the audiobook was absolutely amazing. It is on Audible. Dude, it is one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to. It is absolutely amazing. So well done. So I'm hoping that the Netflix show is really good. But then again, it's kind of like, well, where does that fall? Is that like an Elseworld thing? Is that like all by itself? Is it part of the big story moving forward? You know, with this new 10-year plan, how many things that were currently in development are going to survive and make it to the official phase? I don't know. So
That's the thing you don't know anymore. It's like what was. It's just very sloppy because, like, you look at Marvel and, like, everything they do, it's like so planned out, and there's no cancellations. They let things play out. They don't try to mess with the wheel too much. Like, DC's so reactionary. It's like anytime something just doesn't go their way, like, fuck it, we're just gonna scrap this.
Yeah.
Wait, we have 5 more films planned. All right, let's put out one of these films, and then the rest will just cancel. Like what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, our director, he needs time off because his daughter died. F it, let's get another one. F it, let's reboot the film and make it like more Avenger style. You know? It's like, what? It's just, you're right. It's a sloppy, hot mess. And some of my favorite movies and favorite characters have come out of this mess, which is unbelievable that they can still have any good come out of it, if I'm being honest. But man, it really is time for a better. We deserve better as fans. We deserve better. It's ridiculous.
I think it just shows you how good the property is, though. For it to be this much of a mess, Daryl, and you still give a crap, it's because the DC characters mean a lot to you.
They do. They really do.
That's why you still care. Like, that's the only reason any of us still care at this point. Because, like, honestly, I was about ready to wipe my hands with DC. Like, they just keep making mistake after mistake with their cinematic universe. Yeah. They just don't have the care that Marvel has. You could just
They don't.
And it's disappointing because they have a lot of good characters that they could do a lot with, and they just refuse to. So, and
it's crazy because phase after phase and movie after movie, and don't get me wrong, I haven't enjoyed every Marvel movie that's come out. But like every time one comes out and it just continues to build on the existing universe and things are moving forward, it's just like so many hands in the pot over there, and it's a well-oiled machine. I may not love everything that they do, but there's no denying the amount of quality and the execution that the MCU nails film after film. You know, like Doctor Strange 1 and the Multiverse of Madness, I adore those films. So good. There's no reason in the world. Doctor Strange shouldn't be one of my favorite MCU movies. That shouldn't be one of my favorite characters.
Right.
But they did such a good job. The quality and the bar was set so high. And it's just like, man, like they can make me walk out of a Doctor Strange movie feeling like I'm invested in that character. And then I walk out of a freaking Justice League movie and I'm like, what were they doing? You know, like when I walked out of the original Joss Whedon Justice League, I didn't think it was as bad as the fan base thinks. I thought overall it wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen. And I watched it with my grandma and we had a really good time watching it together. So like my opinion of that movie is very positive considering how much was really not done well about it. And the CG and the mustache and all that stuff was just absolutely like botched.
Yeah, CG mustache is one of the greatest memes ever.
Oh my gosh, that's so terrible.
But again,
you guys got anything else you want to add?
Just a CG mustache makes you realize how much they just don't give a fuck about certain things.
Yeah, like
there's
no reason.
Like who let that happen, Darrell? Like who in their right mind was like, yeah, we can release that on film. That's okay.
Dude, it was terrible. It was terrible. And what's funny is, like, I didn't know going into it that was a thing, right? I bought the tickets. I took my grandma. We went to the movie, and she was so excited to see Jason Momoa's Aquaman. You know, I was excited to see Batfleck and Cavill, and I'm just like, dude, this is gonna be really good. I'm so stoked about this. And then they open it up with that really somber "Everybody Knows" song, or you got like that old school Batman on the rooftop with the villain, and then they have the Death of Superman, black and silver logo hanging over the bridge. I wore my Death of Superman shirt that night. Like it was, this was my thing. You know what I'm saying? This is as good as it can get for me. This should have been one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. Like this, if handled correctly, I should have walked out of there going, this is it. I finally got my movie. And then I walked out of it and I was like, man, that was a lot really wrong with that. Like I still liked a lot of it.
It was it's like every time you walked out of a Resident Evil movie, you're like, oh shit. Thought this was gonna be good. But no.
Including the Resident Evil show.
One. No, I'm not watching that. I can't.
Bro,
it's
no one has said it's good. Not a single person said it's good.
I liked the first episode and then I kept watching it and I'm like, no.
Dude, there's like a dance sequence in it, and there's just the memes have been gold. So, but the fact that that's another thing that's one that really rubs me raw because it's like their take on Wesker all the way down to the hair, and it's just like, why wouldn't you just do something a little different? Why did you make him look like a dollar store version of Blade? It's so bad. Like, even if they did, okay, if they didn't say this is Albert Wesker, if they said this is a Wesker clone, or this is Winston, or this is literally anybody else, if they would have modeled this character off of Wesker, called him something different, I still would have been like, why does he look like a bad, like a freaking Party City version of Blade? Like, what happened?
I love how you call them Party City Blade.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what he looks like. It's so terrible. It's so bad. So, I don't know.
Party City Blade.
Yeah. So, MZ, you wrote in with a question asking what our opinion was on the current state of DC. I'm hopeful. Maybe, maybe it's going to get worse. We the thing is all we know since the Batman versus Superman logo was in the movie I Am Legend, all I've known is disappointment because I have been nothing but excited about this, and this should have been the golden age of my life of entertainment. And even though I stand by the fact that Batman vs. Superman is an amazing film and does so much right, it still has the Martha moment in it. I mean, everything has been botched to a degree. So I don't know. I can't honestly say it's going to be great, but I'm hopeful. I'm hoping they saved us. That this Batgirl movie was in fact so much trash and it doesn't work anymore. That $90 million was worth the bad PR. You're
saying this will be like their moment to fix everything.
I'm hoping. I mean, but the thing is that the CEO of Discovery, he is a DC fan and he loves the property and he wants to move forward and has been supportive of restoring the Snyderverse in some degree, or at least finishing it out and buttoning it up and then rebooting. So, we'll see. I mean, time will tell. It could be a steaming pile of hot garbage for all we know.
Here, here.
You guys got anything you want to add?
Nope. I think I'm all set today. I think the plan they have going forward is a good plan.
Let's hope so.
At least they have a plan.
They say they do.
They have a plan.
Yeah,
well, they stick to it.
But the problem is, I'm hoping the plan is a good plan. But let's see if the execution is good.
But
that is true.
Let's see what happens. They get punched in the face. Will they keep the plan going? That's right. That's I'll give Marvel credit when a movie doesn't do well. They don't just go, fuck it, we're gonna cancel 6 of these things. You can't do that. All that PR, all that power, all that design, story building, all that stuff that goes into making all these movies, and then they just go, fuck it, we're not making this. Nope. We're just gonna.
Yep.
I feel like it's working for Vince McMahon as a writer. You don't know if your shit's actually gonna make it on TV, but you pray it does.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Ask Freddie Prinze Jr.
Man,
I gotta say, I gotta
ever made.
I gotta believe that if they put $90 million into a movie and then canceled it and said it because it's not good quality, I just gotta believe that they're saving us from disappointment.
Well, a lot of the head shed has been removed from said position, so
yep. Let's hope it's good. Who knows? I might finally get my golden age of DC after all, and the next 10 years might actually be enjoyable.
Yep, that is the wish.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want him to ever stop being Batman, but if they would give Ben Affleck a good, glorious exit the way they did Robert Downey Jr., that would just be just give him his moment. Let him have his solo film. We need the goddamn Batfleck film. Him versus Deathstroke would have been amazing.
We're hopeful for that.
You ain't getting it now,
dude. Casting looked so good. Batman. Ben Affleck was going to write, direct, and star in his own Batman solo film. How did they botch that? How did they ruin that?
He was an Academy Award-winning director.
Dude, he was the bomb in Phantoms.
Yo.
That's a Jay and Silent Bob line. All right, guys, let's get out of here. We've been at it for 2 hours. Yep, 2 hours and 50 minutes. So I think that's a nice meaty show. Appreciate you boys for coming on here and talking shop with me, talking DC.
Oh, yeah.
If you like what you heard, like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff. Check out the Patreon. Vote on the next Loot Bros Game Club Dead Space review, Game Club discussion happening at the end of the month. I really hope we continue these and these are successful, and I'd love to see more and more people get involved. And the beauty is, if you made it this far and you're listening to me, beauty is you don't have to play it fresh if you've already beaten the game. The game came out in 2008, so you might already know Dead Space. We'd just love to hear from you, hear your thoughts. We'd love to hear your experiences. Where were you, time and place, all that good stuff. So, Joe, Zach, appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great week coming up.
Appreciate you as well.
Yeah, man.
This has been the Loot Bros Podcast, and we're the F out.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
down the streets. People need to know we're living in a war zone. Hit the streets with the truth, tell them that it's on. So many people that I talk to know the truth. Do what they want to do and really never follow through. Follow you, yeah, see nothing but false idols. Pedestals and tear them down, I don't need a title. Just give me grace, free love and nothing but truth. Toss out the lies, all the wolves hiding in disguise. Lost time is something we can never get back. Pay no attention to opinions, only want the facts. Get right or get left, what will it be? Time is running out, the blood is flowing down the streets. People need to know we're living in a war zone. Hit the streets with the truth, tell them that it's on. Get right or get left, what will it be? Time is running out, the blood is flowing down the streets. People need to know we're living in a war zone. Hit the streets with the truth, tell them that it's on. We are living in a broken world. People need to know we're living in a war zone. Hit the streets with the truth, tell them that it's on.